It's a beautiful day in Pasadena, and we're here at Robinson Stadium for Lancers versus Cerritos Falcons. I am Daniel Peters here with my co-anchor Noah Cataballo. We're here for a hot day in Pasadena, but we're ready for this football game.
Yes, it was a very hot day. I heard you about to say Rose Bowl, and you know it's close enough. I think there's definitely victory in the air here in Pasadena. UCLA routed the Bowling Green, I believe.
This morning.
Yeah, very good game. We're hoping to see the same out of our PCC Lancers here. We actually have the marching band lined up already. Beautiful flags, beautiful colored flags. Marching band, very important to the game of football, very important to actually the school of Pasadena City College as well. But we're here to talk about football. Actually, very excited. We have our returning champions, our defending champions, SoCal Bowl champions, I believe.
SoCal Bowl champions. They went 9-2 last season. They're coming off a big win against Santa Ana, where they beat them 28-21.
Hey, that's a good one. That covers the spread, I think.
Of course.
That covers the community college spread.
So head coach Robert Tucker was a very successful coach last season, and he's coming in trying to bring the Lancers back to a winning season. That was their first season where they had a winning season since roughly 2002.
Really?
So it had been a while.
Yeah. Talk about it.
The most games since the Lancers in 2002. They capped off the season, like I said, by beating Santa Ana in the SoCal Bowl. And that was the first time in 20 years, roughly, that the Lancers won both the Conference, American Mountain League, and Bowl Championship in the same season.
Big shoes to fill for this team this year.
Big shoes to fill.
A lot of departures from that team. I believe we lost about 6 players to better colleges. I'm not going to say better colleges, I'm sorry, but higher division colleges, not JUCOs. They went on to become juniors and seniors at the next level of collegiate ball. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to them. But we have some new people in here today. We have a new quarterback, number 2, Anthony Arnu, out of Santa Monica. That's both his high school and hometown. And we actually have a rookie duo in the backfield with number 23, Caleb Gardner. He went to St. Genevieve, but he's based out of Palmdale. So fresh faces, but we also have returning players. I believe number 14, Ivan Austri.
He was somebody to look at last year. Yeah, he's some guy to look at. He played last season. He racked up a decent bit of yardage. He played in all 11 games last season. He had 31 receptions, 317 yards, and he's looking to become a bigger factor, especially in the red zone offense, because he had 0 touchdowns. But coming back as a returner and in the starting lineup, and we're playing a lot more, the coaches and the whole Lancer team's looking at him to be a source of scoring in their offense.
I'm looking at him to be a source of highlights. I want to see that tape at the end of the season.
Big highlights.
With 28.8 yards a catch, that's crazy.
That is immaculate.
That average is, imagine keeping that up throughout the season, those numbers would be through the roof. We have, I believe, another returning running back, Isaac Rodriguez. He had some pretty good play last season too. Not too much, but again, 12.7 yards a carry. That's good.
Of course.
Overall numbers are great, but when you talk about those per play averages, that's where the money comes in. That's where that money ball gets played. Shout out Brad Pitt real quick. Shout out to Brad Pitt.
Great movie.
Yep. We have a lot of returners on the defensive end. That's my source of focus. I believe our defense is going to really carry us. I wouldn't say they'd carry us, but definitely they're going to be the stars.
Defense wins championships.
Defense wins championships. That's what I say. My boss kind of made a face when I said that yesterday, but I'm glad the real football professional here.
The real two here know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
And then we know defense wins championships.
Yes.
Yeah.
Defense.
And we're looking at that today.
We have 5 returners. Sorry. Takes me a minute to look through my notes. We have 2 defensive backs, 3 defensive backs, a defensive lineman, and a linebacker. Personally, our defensive backs, we have Osvaldo Rigosa. Apologies, Osvaldo, if I messed that up. And Roland Rodriguez, both of which had 33 tackles. Osvaldo, as a defensive back, had 5 interceptions and 5 pass breaks. That's tremendous.
I believe he led the team in interceptions last season.
He did.
5, yeah.
Wow. Okay. We're going to take a small break. Okay. We're getting ready now for the the marching band to come out, but we still have some time. They're still prepping. We're also waiting for the team to walk out. But Roland Rodriguez, along with his 33 tackles, had 5 tackles for losses, 1 interception only, but 7 pass breakups. So these guys, it's a no-fly zone here.
Oh, yeah.
Here at PCC on the Lancer Field.
Would you say that the defensive back on the defense is the area to watch in tonight's game?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think Cerritos is going to want to throw against us at all. But it's, even if they rush, it's going to be hard. Michelangelo Loreto on the defensive line had 24 tackles, 20 assists. He had 6.5 sacks, 9 tackles for losses, and 2 forced fumbles. Those are impeccable stats, man. This guy deserves to be
video game numbers.
Yes, video game numbers. This is what I put up in a season of Madden with a maxed out player, and this guy's here just doing it. At Robinson Stadium, at Pasadena City College. I'm looking forward to see what he does throughout the years. I can only assume he's going to improve on these numbers. Elsewhere, we have Jordan Monroe, the linebacker. He had 19 tackles, 20 assists, 3.5 sacks as the linebacker, 8 tackles for losses as the linebacker, and 3 interceptions. I don't know if you know the linebacker position. They don't really get too many interceptions. If a linebacker gets 1 interception, it's like, damn, that guy's good.
Impressive.
Three's very good. This defense, I'm very excited to watch this defense. Offense, obviously, all offenses are fun. You run the ball, you score touchdowns. That's what we love. But you also got to be able to stop the enemy team from scoring touchdowns, and I believe we could do both.
Of course.
Again, if there's a spread on this, I'm taking that over all day. That's the easiest money out there.
And if you look at the difference between the offense and the defense has a lot more, or the offense, has a lot more youth in them than defense. The offense has a lot more freshmen, a lot more incomers than last year. But
I agree. We're going to take a small break to let the marching band go on, but we'll be right back to talk about our immaculate Pasadena City College Lancers.
Beautiful.
Okay, guys, follow back in.
Now, folks, I don't know if it translates through the screen, but I stopped myself earlier from really speaking about it, but this marching band is just immaculate.
Incredible.
We have a lot of we have a lot of respect for the marching band. They do a lot of work, and they do very great at it. We're going to take a small break for this beautiful Pledge of Allegiance.
National anthem.
Small correction, national anthem. Very, very beautiful. This marching band deserves so much love. I believe they perform at the Rose Parade every year.
Do they?
I believe so. I cannot. You please don't put money on that.
It would make sense, though.
Yeah,
Pasadena City College play at a Pasadena Rose Bowl.
Yeah, right. That's what I assume.
You know, I love professional sports, but something you don't get there is the marching band. You get that in college and high school. And that's just the atmosphere at those kind of games is incredible.
Yeah, especially with like student sections and such. I wish we had a dedicated student section here for Pasadena. So Pasadena's won the coin toss. Did they elect to kick the ball? Yes, they did.
Yep.
They elected to kick the ball. Very good. Personally, I like to make that decision. It's going to sound ridiculous, but I like to make that decision in Madden. It's just a better way to start out the second half. Mm-hmm. If you're winning the first, you got to start with the ball. If you're losing the first, you got to start with the ball and change that tempo. I'm hoping we are dealing with the former in the second half with the Lancers, dealing with the lead and carrying it into the second half. But you never know what can happen. It's football.
Yeah,
it's football.
It's the choice of the coach. Do you go to kickstart the game off with a scoring drive, or do you decide to set the tempo with defense? And like we talked about a bit earlier, defense wins championships. And And if you can get a stop on the opening drive, that can kind of set the momentum for the rest of the game.
Yep.
And as the first game of the season, momentum is kind of everything. It's kind of the kickstart to the year and the kickstart to how the season's going to end up. And a win here tonight against Cerritos will put the Lancers in a good spot to possibly repeat like they did last year.
Yep, I'm thinking they will. I'm feeling very confident about this team. Feeling very confident about our coach. He's a very respectable man. He's a man I have a lot of respect for, I think I should say. Still working on my English, but we'll get there. Again, first game of the season, it's not just setting the tempo for the players, but for us as well. Exactly. We're also trying to find our feet.
Oh, yeah.
You know? I will give some credit to Cerritos. They had a very loud chant, and it kind of got me fired up. I was like, okay, I feel it. They have a little bit of a rivalry, correct? These two teams, do they?
These two teams.
At least the history?
At least the history of it, going back to 2004. The Lancers have kind of struggled in that area, and last year was one of their 2 losses.
Okay.
But they're looking to come back, and they're looking to beat Cerritos in a fantastic way to kick off the season. And no better way to start a season by beating a team you lost to last year, as Justin Vergara, a freshman from Garfield High School, lines up for the kick.
Set to return for Cerritos, number 21.
And we have kickoff. Cerritos inbounds it from the 1.
Going up to 10. It's tackled at the 10-yard line by the Lancers.
Now that's a tempo right there.
That's this tempo setter for sure.
Special teams.
Stopping the special teams at the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
10-yard line.
Stuff them back. We talked about offense and defense, but special teams is that unsung hero.
Oh, yeah.
You can really do a lot of things if your special teams is working with you. So here we go. Defense on the field. We love to see it. Exactly what we were talking about.
First and 10 from the 13-yard line. Cerritos taking the snap. Quarterback in the backfield, running back to his right. Quick throw to the right side. Caught by number 2. Up the sideline. There he goes. 20.
Juke.
Tackled at around the 27.
No, I don't really like screenplays. You're throwing the ball backwards. You're kind of being counter progressive with what you're trying to do and going down the field and scoring points. But I guess it works out with Cerritos. Small fumble by the Lancers. They could have got that tackle 2 yards behind and really proved my point with screenplays. But things happen, you know. These are the times to learn.
So a 14-yard gain on the first play, and Cerritos lines up. One running back in the backfield. Has a run play to the right side.
Good snap.
Up the sideline. And tackled out of bounds at around the 40.
I'll give it to them. They're finding the holes that Pasadena is giving them. But the problem, I think, more so is that Pasadena is giving them holes in the first place. Not too much shifting so far. It's still the first drive, so I'm not gonna try and be too harsh, but still, we must be analytical, especially of our own players. Iron sharpens iron. And, yeah, we got to keep these guys accountable.
So the referee's having a little huddle, talking it over, probably trying to find the spot of the ball, and they will do so.
Holding.
Oh, no. We got a holding.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
So holding a number 2 on the offense. Now, as a first game, in the first game, do you expect a lot of penalties from either
Definitely, yeah. I know they had preseason, but I think especially at this level, there's a lot of at all levels too. There's a lot of just testing out backups and new schemes and such. So then the first game is really when all the nerves are in. You are gonna hold on to somebody a little bit more just because you're really trying to push them back. As we have a sweep here that's getting stuffed. Oh, he pushes the pile. Good on him.
Number 6 on Cerritos. He's able to push the pile up to around the 38, 37.
Seem to just be running the ball right now, getting it down, and it's working. I don't know if the Lancers are working on a change or what, but it seems like maybe playing a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage might be a possible solution for them. They're running 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers. We actually have a linebacker in the slot who's coming in. He's showing blitz, but I don't think I've ever actually seen him blitz. Oh, there he is.
The run to the left side by number 6 on Cerritos, and he finds the edge and tackled out of bounds at around the Lancer 42. So already signs of life for the Cerritos offense, but this Lancers team on the first drive, you can kind of expect hiccups. However, a penalty flag is on the field.
Let's see, offense or defense. If it's offense again, you don't know what to say, but like you said, like we both said, there's nerves in this first game. You kind of expect, another holding.
75 holding call. Now we talk about momentum a lot in the game of football, and having a big gain like that taken back to a penalty, I mean, that just kind of brings about a negative energy to the entire team.
Yeah, you're shooting yourself in the foot. How do you expect to get through the rest of the war when you have a bullet wound in your own foot, especially 5 plays in, barely the first drive.
So Cerritos lining up.
We're in the shotgun.
Hand off to the right side, number 25.
PCC does good on stopping that.
And the Lancer defense swarms to the ball for a minimal game in round 2.
We've had 3 breakout plays, maybe 4 from Cerritos, but we're still 20 yards from where we started, so pretty good on the Lancer defense.
Penalties.
Penalties are crucial.
Penalty yards, I mean, that last run was on the 42, and it got brought back to around the 30.
And those are on the 32.
Yeah, and now those are yards that you will never gain back and that go against you.
Yeah.
So Cerritos, once again, in the backfield. That's a pass, number 88. He's tackled around the 40-yard line. That's a first down.
Good tackle by Osvaldo there coming into the game. You see, that's why you don't pass against this Lancer defense, but they found the run. There's just the holding problem. You gotta hope that you can solve the issue of the run before they solve the issue of holdings. Otherwise, those 42 yards or those 14-yard gains are going to stay. They're not going to get called back. Lining up again, I would assume a run. It's a fresh set of downs. The run's been working.
Yep, run up the left side.
Less than before, which is good, but there's still a gain.
A minimal game around 2.
You kind of hope it's not going to be one of those sluggish games. You know, it's get the ball in the air. Let's have some fun.
So far, yeah, only runs and only 2 minimal passes.
Yeah, a screen pass going behind, which sure they got some yards out of it. Great. And then a little dot in the middle.
If you're a fan of rough and tumble football, this is kind of your game so far. Another play-action pass by Cerritos. Kind of tips it incomplete. Pass intended for number 88.
Good pressure. I'm noticing a lot of pressure from the Lancers. As it happened on that sweep, though, that got called back, sometimes with that pressure, you can misgauge, and now you're pressuring on the right when they're going left, and all those players on the right aren't on the left. So now, where's that running back going? To open field. So hopefully they can keep a balance. I haven't seen many players get switched out, which seems good. Conditioning is very important in football. But it's still the first drive. We'll see how these boys get in the fourth quarter.
So 3rd and 8 from the 42 of Cerritos. Drops back to pass, but he's swarmed by the Lancer defense and tackled for a loss of around 10 yards. That'll bring up 4th down, and the Lancers get a quick stop to bring out their mighty offense.
And who's on it but Jordan Monroe and Michelangelo Loretto. Amazing performance by the defense there. Some hiccups, but Cerritos has hiccups too. They just happen, and it's about who can stay calm and who can do the best with what they got. And so far, the Lancers are getting a turnover, well, not a turnover on downs, but they're going to get the ball back on a punt.
And a mighty kick.
As it comes down, we have 14 back. Austri.
Austri fumbles the punt, but he's able to recover it.
He recovers.
But a little bit of a messy start, but
yeah, definitely not what you want. Definitely not what you want from somebody we're looking at for some stats. We'll see if he stays in the game as receiver. He might have just been returner for right now. No, it looks like he's getting into the huddle. So this is where the fun starts for us.
This is where the fun starts on the offense. So the offense is coming out, led by quarterback Anthony Arnaud. But one guy I would say to watch is for that number 14, Ivan Ostri. This guy is coming from Rosemead High School and La Cañada High School. He played his freshman to junior seasons at Rosemead, then he transferred out to La Cañada as the first snap is taken by the Lancers and tackled for a minimal game. So like I was saying, he played his freshman and junior seasons at Rosemead High School, where he's a running back, defensive back, and a quarterback. He was also, besides all those, a fantastic wrestler.
Really?
And a fantastic track and field athlete. In fact, he was named to the All-Area San Gabriel Valley second team for wrestling at Rosemead High.
Wow.
So he's a trick of all trades.
Yeah, he's a rough one, huh?
He's a rough one.
Put him in on defense. I want to see that double leg. I want to see him slam someone.
As Arnaud lines up, throws it to the right side. There's number 16 catching it for a gain.
Yep, beautiful catch.
And a fumble!
Oh. Is that Cerritos' ball? It seems like it. They seem to be cheering. We're going to watch the refs. Yep. It was a turnover.
So that pass from Arnaud was thrown to number 16.
Oscar Willis.
Oscar Willis took it up the left sideline and fumbled it around the 25.
It happens.
First game.
Yeah.
First game.
It happens. Again, it's about how you persevere through the issues, staying calm, and not letting it get to you. What I will say, who it does suck for the most is the defense. They just got off. They just got, if we're being honest, they got lucky with those holdings, but they were able to capitalize on them and stop their team. But 2 plays later, they're back in. They're still fresh because it's the first quarter, but it's still very tiring. As you can see there, Cerritos gets a fresh set of downs. They get the first down on the first play.
So that was a completed pass to Noah Sanchez on Cerritos. And he was getting knocked out of bounds at around the 11-yard line of the Lancers, so they are putting some pressure on that defense.
They're in the red zone. They went from being on the opposite side of the field in the Lancers' red zone to now being in their own red zone in 3 plays.
Around 3 plays. And that was really help of some mistakes, but nothing you cannot bounce back. Now, one of the big messages I'm sure you might hear from coaches here as Cerritos takes a toss to the left side. He's tackled around the 5-yard line. Few yards. One of the big messages I would say as a coach here is bend but don't break.
Yes.
You're being put here in a rough position, but you got to hold them to at least 3 if possible.
Yep.
And even a stop for just 3 points here would be tremendous
yeah.
given the field position that the Falcons were given here.
Yeah, that's the best case scenario right now is a field goal. You could say interception, you could say fumble, all of these things, but those are clean pass breakup there.
Yeah, pass
Beautiful.
by Cerritos was incomplete. Stopped by, I believe, number 8 of the Lancers, number 8.
Roland Rodriguez. See, somebody else. All these returners, I'm telling you, this defense.
Fun fact about him, he's actually from Hawaii.
He is.
He came all the way here from Hawaii. He went to high school out there, Amonalau High School. I'm probably butchering that name.
We're doing our best. We're doing our best.
But he came out here, and he's playing now for the Lancers, and he is a returner from last year as Cerritos lines up in an I formation, a fullback and running back there. Number 3 gets put in motion. Run up the middle, and that one gets stuffed by the Lancers, so that'll bring up a 3rd down, most likely.
It should be 4th right now.
4th down, excuse me.
Now, they can get to goal line and get a fresh set of downs, but I don't believe they made it there.
Carry by number 25.
We'll see where the refs place.
Michelangelo
It's placed around the 1 or the 2 yard line, so it's very close
It's not a fresh set of downs.
to
So
possible. About 4th and inches, I would say, for Cerritos.
Cerritos will be going for it. They're deliberating very hard. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear some hard counts into a timeout, into a field goal. It's very much the NFL way. But also, I think at this position, play for the touchdown. If there's a turnover on downs, you have the Lancers at the 1.
And that's a touchdown for Cerritos.
That's the gamble. You either get the Lancers on the first or you get the touchdown, and Cerritos got the touchdown.
Cerritos came out, lined up in the same formation as last time, the same motion as well, and they just ran it to the left side this time. And they score after being given pretty good fielded position, but nothing that is going to hurt the Lancers offense tremendously.
Now this is interesting. We have a Colts versus I was gonna say we have a Colts versus Patriots situation, which we did, but this is the right way to do it.
The swinging gate.
You don't snap the ball to somebody with no defenders. You actually get into field goal formation and do it, which is what they're gonna do.
And the PAT from number 18 on Cerritos is good, so they now lead 7-0 against the Lancers.
We're
with around 7:32 left in the first quarter.
We're halfway through the quarter.
Halfway through, yeah.
For our first score, which is good. Again, with what was happening in that first drive, you know, I'm not gonna say it's great, but it's good. We held them.
They'll bounce back.
Yeah.
Now it's interesting though to see the swinging gate. I did that in high school when I was playing, and the great part about it is teams don't expect it, and then you hike the ball, and they always tend to jump off sides when you get put in motion.
Really?
And it's fun. It's a lot of fun, a lot of different trick plays you can do. So
yeah,
you know, it's interesting to see that, and it's cool to see that at this level.
I'm gonna say I hope I don't see it again, because then that would mean that they scored, right?
Exactly. We don't hope to see that ever again.
Yeah, I don't really. Cerritos, very cool. Cerritos, I'm going to be honest, maybe I don't want you to do that again, but only because I want the Lancers to do it when they score.
Yeah, Cerritos lining up for the kickoff. Number 14, Ivan Ostri, and number 0, Jaquin Elliott in the backfield to return the kick. That one is kicked over to Ostri, takes it in the end zone.
And he's taking it out.
He's taking it out around 5 to 10.
Not many holes,
15,
I'll say that.
Tackled out around the 20-yard line of the Lancers.
Oh, but there's a flag on the play. Possible, I'm not going to say it's possible, unnecessary roughness, but I'm not sure what else it could be. Maybe an illegal block in the back. We'll listen out for Mr. Whitehat as they discuss.
The Lancers hoping this is not against them to put them in even harsher position.
If they get a touchback, it's 25, even
25,
still not, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So on top of losing about 6 yards,
so let's listen.
Lose more.
During the return, holding number 3 of the return team. That'll be 10-yard penalty, first down.
So holding a number 3 of the return team. So we put back 10 yards for the offense to start.
That's a rough one. Where are we at? About the 10-yard line?
Around the 10-yard line, yeah.
Oh, we're on the 10, wow.
Exactly on the 10.
What's good about that is we're still only 1st and 10. They didn't make us 1st and 15. Or 1st and 20, actually, is what it would have been. 1st and 10 is still good.
Now the Lancer offense back out. Arnaud's in the backfield.
Watching their warm-ups, I've seen a lot of short passes, which is what they were doing as Arnaud fumbles the ball, fakes the handoff, and takes it from himself. Loss of yards.
A loss around 5 yards because of a fumbled snap in the backfield. Once again, the first game jitters. And
the first game jitters are there. They are real.
They are
folks.
there.
Think about the first time you've done anything. Was it perfect? I don't think so.
Never.
I don't think so. It takes time. And we still have 7 minutes in only the first quarter. We're still only in the first quarter. There's not only 2 quarters. There's 4. And we have a half in between. My favorite saying is if they can score 7 points in half a quarter, we can score 8 points in half a quarter.
There we go.
That's the beautiful. That's my coach saying. That's what I tell my kids to hype them up. I'm going to expect a short pass coming in. We get a run to the left. A good run puts us about back to where we started at. So now it's 3rd and 10.
On that last play, you might have seen Arnaud was taken out, and Jacob Doolittle was brought in, number 13, and to take the snap and the handoff to the left side. But looks like Arnaud is on the sideline. He's going to come back in for the next play. So a game of 3 yards for the Lancers. So they're back at the 10-yard line where they started this drive off. And looking to put a little dent in that 3rd and 10 they have going on now. So 3rd and 10 from their 10-yard line. Arnaud in the backfield.
A nice little hard count that was going on there. Avoids the sack. Very beautiful ball. Arnaud overthrows it, though, sadly. Beautiful escape, though. Great pocket awareness. Steps in, and let me point out the fundamentals. Let me point out the John Gruden way. That this guy held on to that ball. You've seen how high and tight that was? That ball was near his right shoulder.
Yeah.
And when he walked up, he swiveled it to his chest forward, stepped in, and brought the ball right back. Beautiful, beautiful fundamentals, beautiful technique. It just didn't work out this time, but that's what you want to see.
Didn't work out, so the Lancers will be punting.
From the end zone.
From the end zone.
A little bit of a muffed punt. It actually smacks one of the Lancers in the behind. And they ground it at, what is that, the 44?
44-yard line. So Cerritos being put at the Lancers 44. Lancer defense coming back out for their 3rd drive already in
a very short amount of time. A very short amount of time. Luckily for the Lancers and Cerritos, it's not that hot anymore.
It's cooled down a little bit.
As we mentioned earlier, UCLA played earlier today, and they were playing in 100-degree weather.
Oof.
And you know when you're on the field, too, it gets amplified by at least 10, especially for a big college like that with all their microphones, all the media and all that, you know. So luckily for the defense, they're a little bit cooler than they might be.
Yeah, throws to the left side. Number 2 takes up the left sideline, gets it up to around the 25-yard line of the Lancers.
These screens are working a little bit too well for Cerritos, but good on them because they found the hole that the Lancers are giving them, and they're filling it with 7 points so far and big plays. No holding either, so they might be getting over their jitters. They might have already settled in.
Sometimes small plays like that can actually put a lot of momentum towards your team, and being positive and getting positive gains as they take the snap, a handoff to the right side, take it up the sideline.
Very elusive is number 6.
Out around the 20, but there is a penalty marker on the field, so we'll see if this one's coming back.
Maybe the holdings come back, but number 6, great elusiveness. He was able to get around that first defender who was on him right off the handoff, and then the other defender right after that.
But once again, a penalty marker. Going to probably hurt them and bring them back a little bit.
Holding. Number 11 of the offense. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul.
I'm impressed by the fresh holdings. We haven't had a repeat number so far, so it just seems to be going all around, you know?
It is just infecting the whole team right now, holding.
I'm waiting to see when the quarterback gets a holding call against him. That's going to be interesting. Here we go. We love the fan support around here. Actually, a very packed crowd. Good
crowd for the first night,
yeah.
2022 season, and they showed their happiness when that penalty call was made and brought back. So,
dropping back for a pass, tosses it back to the running back.
6 up
number
the
6
field,
again, very elusive.
The gap and takes it for a touchdown for the Falcons.
Number 6 for 6.
They score once again. So then I'll be up 13-0 with 4:52 remaining in the first quarter.
And you know what we have to see again? What is it, the swinging gate?
Swinging gate, yeah.
We get to see the swinging gate again.
We have to see that now.
We'll see. Well, what's the benefit of an offsides on a 2-point conversion other than you're on the 1 now?
Yeah, for us it was, you get them jump off sides, you get put up at the 1. Then
you just got them,
You just line them. You just line up big guys up front and just pummel the ball into the end zone for 2 instead.
True.
But Cerritos, PAT in there, and that'll make it 14-0. 4:52 remaining in the first quarter.
That took them a lot less time to score than the first one, but it's fine. As I said earlier, if they could score 14 in the first quarter, we could score 15 in the second quarter.
Of course.
And just keep it going.
Right now, Cerritos' offense has really focused on the run game and the short passes off to the left. And with the strong run game, you can kind of get away with screens and putting guys out there. As you just saw, it worked with a pretty big gain on the last play.
Yeah, but if they're running, why not run a zone? It gets rid of the screen plays as well because they're running receivers up the field. You're thinking, all right, they're going to go deep, and they just leave one guy behind, and it's like, okay, easy catch, open space for at least 5-10 yards. So, hopefully the defense makes an adjustment on the Lancer side because the Cerritos offense has obviously made adjustments, and they're doing quite well so far.
So Cerritos coming out for the kickoff. Ivan Ostri and Joaquin Elliott in the backfield to return the kick. That one is kicked to the right side to Ostri. Takes it around the end line. He takes it out.
Not much blocking. He finds a hole.
Finds a hole and taken out around the 20-yard line. Pretty much where he was last time, except this time there is no marker on the field, so they will be at the 20.
A clean 20 from Ostri. Yeah, not much space to run on that one, and he still took it out.
Still able to get some yards now. Ostri, as I was saying earlier, was a wrestler and pretty good, but after his freshman, sophomore, junior seasons, transferred to La Cañada, he played the same positions of running back, defensive back, and quarterback, and he became a very valuable offensive and defensive addition to their team. In fact, he also played middle linebacker for a little bit.
Really,
him? He did, showing off a little bit of that wrestling as the Lancers take a handoff up the middle. To gain around 5. The ball's being pushed.
I believe that's Joaquin, too. I believe I seen a 0, and he's still going. Finally gets brought down. That's at least 6 yards after the initial tackle.
Got hit around the 25, and the big boys up front on the offensive line able to come up and push him to around the 31, 32.
That's right. That's the momentum play right there. That's something that gets the whole team together. Everyone's now just pumped and amped, ready to go.
Those are guys up front not giving up on the play and keeping that play alive.
The big boys in the trenches, they're the unsung heroes. They're the diamonds in the rough. They're really the most valuable player.
Arno takes it, hands it up the middle.
Great broken tackle, but Cerritos good on cleaning it up, number 4. Great blocking by the linemen, They didn't give up on the last play. They gave Joaquin a good chance on that one. We might be focusing on the run game right now, which would be smart. We've had a fumble on the first drive off a pass. The last drive didn't go so hot with our passes. It did come down to that fumble on the first snap, but even still, keep it clean, keep it nice, keep it simple. It's still just the first quarter of the first game.
So second and around 5 at the Lancers 42. Taken by Arno in the backfield. Throws it left, number 7.
Great vision. Isaiah Smalls on the catch, tight end. He went to Dorsey High School, and he's from L.A., an L.A. boy.
L.A. man. Most of these guys around the area. There are a couple, like we said earlier, like Rodriguez on the defense from Hawaii. We got some guys from Texas, some guys from around the place. It's always fun to see that difference in location from guys.
Pasadena is a hot spot for its location. A lot of people do come from other colleges to Pasadena as a, bypass a year or so, make it back. I believe you get an extra year as a JUCO maybe. Some of these guys want to extend their college ball career as we pass down to Smalls again.
So Smalls takes that one, a pass to around the Cerritos 36-yard line. That was their biggest gain of the game so far.
Yeah, I gotta apologize to Smalls because I should have been a lot more hyped about that truck. He ran through that boy. He put him on the ground. I'm sorry, Smalls. You deserve so much. You deserve a much bigger reaction than what I didn't give you. Amazing.
Some life from the Lancer offense being seen right now, and they're making a push to dig into that lead Cerritos has built as they line up. Arnaud in the backfield, the running back right behind him.
Man, Cerritos is playing very shallow. They're really
put in motion.
As Smalls goes to the end zone. Oh,
and just overthrown, unable to see that one in.
Smalls, you just can't give up on that play. I'm not gonna say he did, but I seen a little bit of a hitch in there. I seen a little bit of a get up or a get back. You know, we got to go full force all the way. He was wide open. Arnaud was watching him the whole time.
And you can see his reaction coming off the field. A little bit of frustration with himself, but he cannot get in his head. He's got to bounce back, got to put it behind him.
He still got into position to score, you know?
Look at the positives.
Yeah, exactly. You got open, man. You had the opportunity. Number 16, Oscar Willis coming back in. Went to St. Paul from Pico Rivera.
So Lancer setting up. Arnaud in the backfield.
We have Austria in the slot with 45 blitzing.
Pass, throws it to 87.
Our other tight end.
Cameron Woods catches that one.
Freshman from Long Beach, one of Brentwood.
And that is a Lancer first down.
I must assume Brentwood's in Long Beach, right?
I would assume so, around that area probably.
Yeah, right, I would assume. I know my LA and my California, but not too well. I don't know like my cities specifically. We have 1:40 left in the quarter. Let's see if the Lancers can score before the quarter. I don't think it matters. There definitely isn't a rush. We're going forward receivers.
Setting up at around the Cerritos 26-yard line. A hard count, and that is a false start.
It's going to be on the offense for sure.
By the Lancers, yeah. You got number 81.
Keon Ishani, freshman from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada.
Wow, another one.
Yeah, that one's out there.
That one's not just another state, but another country.
Yeah. It happens. America first-time jitters, you know?
Of course, of course.
He went to a high school, Citadel, out there.
Citadel, right.
Citadel. I know a Citadel, but it's in Commerce. I believe it's the same. I believe that's the name.
So the ref's taking a
timeout on the Lancers. So
timeout by the Lancers, their first of the half.
Their first charge timeout.
Now, do you think it's smart to take a timeout? Or should they? I guess so, right? You want to regroup. What down is it? First down?
First down. I guess it really just depends on what they're going to be talking about. I'm sure there's probably some miscommunication in there. They line up in the huddle. They're coming out a bit quick and looking to speed up the game, but possibly just want to reset and get the guys back in a good mindset for the next
small break. Not only are you rushing the defense, but you're rushing yourself. You're rushing your teammates. And that takes a lot of practice. That takes a lot of dedication to be running hurry-up offenses. It takes a lot of conditioning as well.
Yeah, another aspect, because it is the first game, is you get to kind of see where the conditioning is at for your team and if you need to do more of it or if you're pretty good. Most of the time in the first game, you know, you struggle with conditioning and you're a little bit tired after a while. And
yeah. I was going to say, after every first game of any football game I played, it was always hell week again.
Of course.
That next practice, and it was just like, we're not ready. And it's just like, God dang, bro. Never are. And, you know, it's true. Again, those jitters, those nerves, the adrenaline's pumping. You're just full force.
So Elliott takes that one to the
broken
left side. Trucks through some tackles, and he gets taken out at the 20-yard line, powering his way through to set up the Lancers with a 2nd and 5.
Look at that, coming back from the false start, strong.
So
breaking 3 tackles, 2 tackles, shoving off the 3rd before they came to clean in, but amazing.
So ball's put around the 21.
Number 44.
And you know, I was talking about, hey, is it smart to run a timeout right now? Obviously.
That one, that timeout was well deserved, and it was
paid off well.
Paid off well, exactly.
We'll see where they can go. Cerritos has fallen back a little bit. They're not as shallow as they were before. I think that scare with the Smalls almost touchdown brought them back. As we run a halfback draw Beautiful
Isaac
yardage.
Glover takes that one to the left side, and he's taken down at the 10. So the running game getting a little bit of a kick start for the Lancers. Both running backs put it in the work, both Joaquin Elliott and Isaac Glover. Really showing their efforts and really showing their power and desire to get in the end zone.
Now, that was Daniel Schwarm, number 86 on the run?
I believe it was number 1.
Was it number 1?
I believe so.
I seen 86 come out. Because I was going to say that'd be interesting if it was 86, because that's Daniel Schwarm, freshman wide receiver. And get this, he's from Vienna, Austria.
Oh, my goodness.
we are just finding our international players left and right.
So Arnaud rolls out to the right side. Touchdown, Lancers. So they bring it back. So one score with 6 points in the end zone.
Number 21, am I reading that right? Number 21, Jason Stanford from Pasadena. Local boy scoring the first touchdown of the season.
Outfitting for the Lancers. Scoring their first points of the season on a roll-up pass by Arnaud.
Freshman to freshman connection.
Freshman to freshman, all right. And now we got number 94 coming out, and the PAT is good to make it 7-14. And that was the last play of the first quarter. So able to strike just as the clock hit 0 and bring the game back into one possession.
See what I'm saying? If it took them half a quarter to score 7, it'll take us half a quarter to score 7, and we're still in the game.
We are still in the game. So now some momentum, hopefully, on the Lancers side. Definitely after that drive, and bring it all the way from their 20-yard line and able to score. So an 80-yard drive, a long one. Took all up about 4 to 7 minutes, I would say, around that drive, and really was able to show up more of the passing game. But the running game was also putting to work more towards the end zone with both running backs getting into position and getting big runs for them.
The passing got us started, but the running is what really cashed it in for us. And, that's real. Old school football, it's all about running. That
the rumble and tumble of it all.
Rumble and tumble, yep. Is there another one about grinding now? Like, I know there's Gruden Grinders, but that's more of like his show with quarterbacks, right? There's there's Smash Mouth. That Smash Mouth offense, running the ball down the throat. Yeah. That's what it is, not grinding or nothing. Yeah, that Smash Mouth offense, that's that old school, just really, like Marshawn said, you run through someone's face enough times, they're not going to want it anymore. And now you just walk straight into the end zone unscathed. So hopefully they can keep it up, running or passing, as long as we get scores. That's what it's all about.
So freshman Justin Vergara from Garfield High School, he's in there to kick it off for the Lancers after scoring 7. And this is the start of the second quarter. So Cerrito's taking it around the 5-yard line. He's coming out.
Oh, he goes
to the right side all the way, and he gets brought down.
About the 25, it seems.
25, and
but a
penalty marker's brought in.
Very late.
Very late, yeah.
Might have to do with the hit, but I wouldn't see what it would be. They're letting the white hat know, so we'll get our call soon.
Hopefully it's on Cerritos, and they get a little taste of the medicine.
Well, I mean, they started the medicine. They came up with the medicine. They got the first 3 flags, I believe.
Yeah, their first drive was just,
Yep. Penalty party.
Blocking the back.
Oh.
Blocking the back, number 13 of Cerritos. So they're now being brought back to probably roughly the 15 or the 10.
And that's just such a brutal call. Those blocking the backs, like, come on, it's such a simple rule. You see their back, don't touch it.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. You hit the shoulder pad, and that's as far back as you can go. So that's always a rough one, but Cerritos is a gift for the Lancers, but Cerritos, continuously shooting themselves in the foot. But they've done it twice before. We'll see if they can do it again.
So now the Lancer defense being brought back out. Cerritos takes the snap, a handoff to the right side, and that one gets
quite a few yards
to around the 20-yard line for a game about 5. So 2nd and 5 on the next play. The Lancers looking to get a stop here and bring their offense back out after a very long and about 80-yard drive to cap it off with a touchdown.
But the defense is probably, much well rested now.
Well rested, yeah.
They had a longer break than they did the previous 3 drives before that. I will say they're still playing very deep for a team that has really only had success in screen passes and runs. Oh, he stayed up. No, his elbow touched the ground. Great effort by the running back on Cerritos. You got to give him credit, number 28.
And that'll be enough for a Cerritos first down.
Yeah, again, Cerritos has only had much success on a 5-yard pass down the middle. But besides that, screens, handoffs, and Pasadena's just playing really far back. They seem like they have 4 defensive linemen now on the field.
Around 3 with probably 2 outside linebackers being brought up. But a handoff to the right side by Cerritos, and that one is taken for roughly a gain about 8.
You see, their safeties are so far back, and you know, I'll say it too. Like, the safeties need to come down. They need to come down harder. We need a Rod Woodson in there. We need a thumper.
So far, no big plays by Cerritos. It's always just been running and quick passes to the right or the left.
But they're just chipping away, and you know, you chip away at a tree enough, it's going to come down no matter what. You don't need big swings constantly to take down a tree. It's going to take longer. It's going to take longer, but at the same time, it's football, and we have a time limit, so it's kind of working to your advantage, giving the Lancers less time to work with.
They're testing the Lancers' conditioning, definitely making them put in the work on a lot of plays, but Cerritos lines up 2 running backs in the backfield, a handoff to the right side, and that one is enough for a Cerritos first down. So they are moving the ball pretty well.
A lot of sweeps. A lot of sweeps in this drive. And it's working. I'm not going to claim to be a football expert, but hey, you do a little nickel, right? Throw in a little extra linebacker. Or again, you have a safety, you have a strong safety that could really thump. You have Ivan Austri, who's not afraid to get down and dirty and shoot a double leg on somebody. You know, he's going to get that middle linebacker, and boom.
So Cerritos lining up.
A little bit of a different formation. But still a handoff.
Hand up the middle, and that one is taken for a loss of about 2.
Good job on the Lancers. Swallowed them right away. They may not be going back to that. Did they have much success in the I form in the first quarter?
They did.
They did.
They're running a lot of the I formation. That's probably been about their main one I've seen thus far.
Yeah.
They kind of brought out the 2 running back backfield on this.
I want to see the old school two-back backfield where they're like behind the guards, you know.
Oh, all right.
I want to see that again. That's always been something that intrigued me.
So Cerritos lining up.
Going for a pass this time.
Pass number 88 takes up the middle and is hit. Pretty decent hit by the Lancer defense. Pretty
good
nice.
Hit. I'm glad to see 88 stay up. It's football. We love good hits, but you know, we know more or less now which ones will hurt the player more often than not. So just glad to see him walk away from that.
So completed pass number 88, enough for a Cerritos first down. They're now exactly the 50-yard line.
14-yard completion, first down from midfield.
14-yard completion. Cerritos takes a snap. Ball to the right side by number 5. He's looking downfield. He tosses it short, but number 88, after making a good play, is unable to corral that one. He drops it and brings up 2nd and 10.
Intended for layup.
Even in the passes, you know, they're playing deep. They're expecting this deep ball, and it's just like, dude, if they can get that on you, go ahead, take it. But you got to cover what they're showing you so far.
And that comes, you know, we talk about the players a lot with the first game of the season, but you have to look at the coaches too. It's their first, you know, attempt at seeing a real-life game.
That's true, yeah.
During the season, and they have to kind of conform to what they're seeing in the moment.
Yeah, they have returners, but we're a JUCO college, so we really only have freshmen and sophomores. So if you have a team of a lot of sophomores, you're not going to have much returners, and you have to start fresh
and a fumble by Cerritos.
But it goes out of bounds.
I believe it goes out of bounds. The refs, that's what they're saying. So a gain of about 9. Put them at 3rd and 1.
Simpson's pass completed, number 4, Michael Bruner.
A lot of juking going on by Cerritos, but it's not really juking. It's just simple misdirection. What it is overcommitment on the Lancers side. They're expecting you to just go right, and so they go right. But you know, in football, that's one of the first drills that you do at football is you chop your feet and stay in front of the guy.
So first down for Cerritos. at the 40-yard line of the Lancers. Takes the snap, handoff to the right side, number 25, and he's brought down for a loss of about 1. So Lancers defense able to keep them to a minimal gain. In fact,
so they got a fresh set of downs in the last play. So now it's 2 and 11.
Yeah, second and around 11.
Thank you, second and 11. I said 2 and 11. 2 and 11th.
Ball's at the Lancers 41. Roughly exactly 10 minutes left in the second quarter. They have
drive so far.
Milked about 5 minutes off of the clock on this drive alone. One running back to the left of Simpson. Takes a snap. 3-step drop. He's looking. Pressure.
Going deep.
A lot of pressure, and the Lancers are able to get him. A helmet comes off on the play.
The helmet off.
And a sack for the Lancers defense, and that puts the Cerritos Falcons in a difficult position. They tried to go deep for the first time, and it did not end well for them.
3rd and long now. Quite the predicament.
3rd and around 15.
Beautiful play by the lineman.
The big guys up front able to put a lot of pressure onto the quarterback Simpson now, and we hope to see that for the remainder of this game.
Falcons, number 12, Aiden Sanchez.
Number 12, Aiden Sanchez comes in after Simpson had to get taken out because of helmet. He's put under pressure, rolling out right. Another sack for the Lancers.
Beautiful.
And that one by number 44.
Michelangelo Loretto.
One of the captains of this team. Yeah. Back-to-back sacks, and that puts the Falcons offense back on their own 48, and it's now 4th and around 23. And so they'll have to punt.
We call that 4th and forever.
Oh, 4th and forever.
And yes.
So here comes the punt.
Good punt. I'll give it to them. A lot of hang time.
And they just decided to let that one go. It hit him around the 20.
Yeah, it hit him around the 20, so they got to place it back there. Okay, good.
The ball, we placed it around the 20-yard line. The refs didn't blow the whistle there for a second.
Yeah.
But, hey, first game for them. We talk about first game for everyone.
Everybody, the refs are out here. Half of the holdings weren't even holdings. They're just like, I guess. No, just kidding. They're just throwing flags out here.
So that was probably the best defensive stand we've seen by the Lancers so far. And
yeah, definitely.
A good one to have in the second quarter, giving the Lancer offense a chance now to go down and tie the game. There's about 8:14 remaining in the second quarter.
More than enough time for the Lancers.
Offense comes back.
Some confusion, it seems. We have an extra player on the field, possibly. Oh, no. Just right formation.
3 receivers out right. Joaquin Elliott in the backfield with Arnaud.
2 receivers, and is that Smalls? It's tight end. I know that much. A dump off to 7. Stiff arms to the ground.
Goes up the right sideline and gets to about the 26. A gain of about 6 yards on the play. And a tremendous stiff arm by number 7, Isaiah Smalls, the tight end. The Falcons brought the pressure, but Arnaud was able to get the ball out quickly and a gain of about 6. Second 4.
We have so many fans here that my Wi-Fi is so slow. That's a very good indicator for how packed your crowd is. How slow is the Wi-Fi right now?
So Arnaud lines up.
Smalls out in the slot now. Not so much in this tight end position.
Joaquin Elliott takes that one up the middle. That one's going.
He's got space.
30 to 40. Gets her on the 40-yard line. A gain of about 18 yards on that running play, just up the middle. Falcons were not ready for it.
Up the middle, but to the side. I think he had a little bit more space to go straight up. But I think you play for your health as well, especially in the JUCO level. You want to have a long career in the future. So I will accept it. I want these boys to have a long career as well.
So that's a first down for the Lancers. The ball is spotted at the 40-yard line. Elliott, after making that great play, is back there in the backfield. 2 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. Takes the snap, a quick drop, and hand it off to Elliott, but that one is for little to none.
That wasn't good. I'll say that was not good. That looked like they were giving up a halfback screen, the way that the defensive line came through. You know what Cerritos looked like on that play? They looked like the Lancers in the last drive. when they sacked their quarterback twice. That's what they looked like on this one. But sadly for them, they didn't get a turnover. They didn't put them on the 4th down. Lancers now 2nd and 10.
So it's a give and take. You get big plays, you get some plays like that, but the Lancers offense, no worse off now. It's 2nd and 10. Arnaud looking to take the snap, takes it around a 3-step drop, throws it to Elliott on the right side. Able to collect that one and gets out, and it gets tackled around the 45.
He stays up. He has that dog in him. He doesn't want to go down. That's what you want to see. All these coaches and scouts talking about 40 times and vision, but does he have that dog in him? That's what truly matters.
Yeah.
Seems like Elliott has that dog in him.
So it's now 3rd and 5, 5:40 remaining in the second quarter.
Cerritos seems to be bunching up into the middle. At least that's what they did on the last drive. And Lancers, their passing game, from what I've seen, they do focus on those outside routes, on those quick in routes. So I believe there's a lot of opportunity to capitalize.
So Isaac Glover in the backfield with Arnaud now. Takes a snap around 3-step drop. Some pressure by the Falcons. Arnaud able to avoid it. Goes to the right side. He's taken off. And that should be close for a first down. We'll see where the referees spot the ball. That's around the 51. That is.
They gave him a fresh set of downs.
A fresh set of downs for the Lancer offense. Great scrambling and great improvisation by the Lancer quarterback Arnaud, able to avoid a tackle and gets out for about a 6-yard gain.
Arnaud showing us that he has that dog in him, not giving up, taking the ball for himself, showing us a little bit of that Derek Carr in him. He says, fine, I'll do it myself. Front flips for a first down.
The versatility of his game. Able to throw the ball and now showing he's able to run.
And he's a freshman, so we could see him for 2 years. I'm very excited about that. Only looking to get better from the first game of the season.
So Lancers lining up. Takes a snap. A quick draw to number 1, Glover. And he's corralled for a minimal gain.
Great effort, great effort. He was able to slip a majority of the bodies that were in the backfield on him.
So that's roughly 2 plays of the same one. They've done 2 of those halfback dives that have gone really nowhere, and so we'll see what the coaches decided to go with next and see what they decided to change up for the offense.
87 tapping out. That doesn't look too good. Never want to see someone tapping out. Cameron Woods came out tapping his helmet. Oh, gotta hope he's okay.
Number 1, Isaac Glover, still in the game.
No tight end. We're running 4 receivers now. 3 on the left, 1 on the right.
So look for the Lancers to pass. Arnaud takes a snap, looks to the left, throws it out left to number 4, Kenneth Russell, and he is taken down for a gain of 0. No gain on the play.
That was a rough hit. See, that's how a majority of screen plays happen. So you got to be very careful about when and how you do those, because Kenneth took a big hit on that one. Took a big hit. He's a grown man. I know he can take it, but still, you can only take so many of those in your career. Smalls coming back in with Arnaud and Jason Sanford. Pasadena, hometown boy. 3rd down.
So Lancers lining up. Isaac Glover is still back there with Arnaud. He takes a snap, 3-step drop, throws it out quickly to Glover, and he's corralled. And nowhere to go for Glover as he's taken down for a loss of about 3.
Sometimes that dog in you is not for the best, and I believe that was one. Maybe a couple too many hits. I get that you want to make a play, but on 3rd and 10, save yourself the health. Understand that there's 5 bodies on you. As Cerritos takes a timeout.
Cerritos will take a timeout with about 2:36 remaining in the second quarter. Interesting decision by the Lancers to throw a quick pass out of the left with about third and 10 to go.
Very interesting. I'd rather see a halfback draw. You see that a million times on 3rd and 10s in the NFL and college. Do that. It almost seems better.
So now about 4th and 13, and the Lancers will most likely be punting the ball back to the Cerritos offense. And we'll count on their defense to get them another stop and to keep this game at 14-7.
As we said pregame, defense wins championships, and I wanted to have big emphasis on the Lancers' defense. Not because I thought that they would be out on the field this much, but just because I knew that they were a group to mess with. And so luckily for us, unluckily for them, we are getting a lot of opportunities just in this first quarter to see that. And I believe the Lancers defense can get a stop on this next drive. They've shown us that they could do a lot more, you know, in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So we'll get ready for them to hit the field after this punt.
So Justin Vergara back there to punt the ball off, and he gets that one off to the Falcons. No one able to get that one, so it bounces out of bounds at around the 26.
A better punt than last time.
And he's putting the Cerritos offense in a difficult spot now. They're back there.
He has a nice curve to his ball. When you see it in the air, it's definitely one of those professional trick shot balls. That one punter from the Ravens, he had a whole series about, like, he kicks the ball 4 different ways.
Justin Tucker.
No, Tucker's the kicker. But they had the punter, like, Posh or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he, like, the Ravens just had, like, the craziest special teams ever. For probably still now, but, you know, they had that punter that was doing it multiple ways, and it was just about pinning them into their end zone and not giving them much to work with.
Falcons roll out right, throws the pass down to number 2 of Cerritos. 10-5, touchdown. All it took was one play, and they have now regained their 2-score lead on the Lancers.
You got to give it up to Cerritos. They are taking advantage of what the Lancers are giving them. And I was talking about how the Lancers are playing too deep and they should move up, but I guess I was proven wrong. That's why I'm not a coach.
So a 72-yard touchdown for the Lancers.
For Cerritos.
For the Cerritos, apologies.
I wish. We wish
it was for the Lancers.
We wish. But we'll see. The second quarter's not over yet. First half isn't done.
Exactly.
If they could score on one play, we could score on one play.
They score. There is still 2:16 remaining in the half. So that is plenty of time. Lancers have 2 timeouts remaining, I believe. And the PAT is good. So they take a 21-7 lead on the Lancers. 2:16 left in the second quarter. And with 2 timeouts left, the Lancers have plenty of time to make a comeback and put 7 more points on the board.
I will apologize for what I said because I believe I said first quarter, and it is a second. I am
first half.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, first half. I know I said first quarter, first half. So technically I did correct myself. I just want to double correct myself.
There you go.
As we get ready for the kickoff by Cerritos. I hope to see a touchback if it reaches the end zone. Save ourselves some clock time and just take the free 25 yards. But we'll see. The kicker, Cerritos' kicker, has a good leg on him. He's been reaching the end zone. Give him props for that. That's a very hard thing to do. I don't know if you've ever kicked the ball. I haven't because I don't even want to try. I don't want to see my kick go 10 yards and just feel fumbled.
That's how it went for me.
Yeah,
about 10 yards, and it was just sad to watch.
You're like, all right, I guess I'm not a kicker. It's probably the best way to the NFL, but also one of the hardest.
Cerritos kicking the ball off. Ivan Austri and Joaquin Elliott back there. Austri takes the kickoff for the 3rd time, runs up to the 20, to the 25, and he gets around the 20, the 30-yard line.
We're going to call it the 30.
30, yeah.
We want to give him those extra yards.
There we go.
Great return.
His best return of the night so far, putting the Lancers in a good spot. Only 70 yards remaining to the end zone.
And I believe we scored off a 72 drive, right? 72-yard drive when we first scored?
The last one was 80, I believe.
80, yeah,
I believe so. It was a long drive.
10 more yards, just that much easier.
There we go.
Is this how I talk to you?
Tackles on the play. By number 2, Jaden Dunlap.
As the offense takes the field.
So offense, Arnaud's back there, and number 0, Joaquin Elliott in the backfield with them.
2 wide left, 1 receiver on the right.
Isaiah Smalls, tight end to the right, and play action. Arnaud looking deep. He hits that one, number 21.
Jason Sanford runs
it down, breaks a tackle. 10, 5, touchdown. Lancers.
Did I not say if they can score in 1, we can score in 1?
Score 1. So a 70-yard touchdown from Arnaud to Jason Sanford.
Pasadena hometown boy. That's what it's all about.
And that one puts them now back to a one-score game with 1:55 remaining in the second half. You called it.
I called it.
Incredible. So now Lancers lining up for the PAT. Number 77 running in pretty late, looking to get.
As long as they caught it.
There we go. They caught it. That's all that matters.
We still get our point.
And Lancers kick it, and
he made it.
Just barely squeaks it in. A little bit of muff hold, but it gets in there. It all counts the same.
Yes, it does. It counts. It counts. You just got to do with what you can get. And it seems like that's what the Lancers are doing. Now, there wasn't a mix-up in the scoreboard, right? The guests do have 27 points. We are 14 to 27 currently.
Yeah, it's 21-14.
It should be 21, right?
Scoreboard is mixed up a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed they put the teams on the wrong side, so hopefully they fix that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our own scoreboard, so it'll be correct, 21-14. Our fans here.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. I was about to say the fans here in the stadium are probably very confused, but now we're all on track. 1 minute 54 left in the first half.
Yeah.
21 Cerritos, 14 Lancers.
So
both last scores coming on the first play of their drive.
First play.
Deep
Both
balls.
long ones. One was 70 by the Lancers. Cerritos was 72. So 2 long passing plays by both teams makes the score 21-14, 1:54 remaining. And now the defense looking to hold the offense of Cerritos to little to no gain to get the ball back, and who knows?
Yeah. You just forget about the last drive. It's not about the last drive. It's about the next one. And so that's what the defense should be focusing on.
The Falcons, yeah.
As the offense has their meeting down here. I know the defense had their meeting, so hopefully that was something that they got across to them. Just, hey, focus on the next one. We'll get them.
So Cerritos has 2 timeouts left. So they'll look to add on to their lead if possible. But here's the kickoff. And a short little pooch kick and a fair catch called by number 8.
Smart.
We'll spot him at around the 24-yard line.
That's very smart by them. Just call it. Hey, I can catch it. Let me just catch it here, and we'll stay here. No need for me to be a hero.
So the offense for the Falcons set up around the 26-yard line. Excuse me, 25-yard line.
Yeah, just give them the 25. They might have gave the Lancers a yard, but hey.
Thought it was 24. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
There we go.
I like that. I like that kickoff kick that they did. We did that when I played high school, and
There
we
you
actually
go,
got a lot of possessions off of it because they don't expect it, and usually that middle row is somebody who isn't expecting it, so they just fumble or they don't catch it. As Cerritos gets their first playoff, and they're stopped for a tackle for loss by the Lancers. Maybe a loss.
A loss of, I believe, about 5 yards.
I'm trying to look at the down
4
marker,
yards.
but he's not moving. Yeah, they move back, right?
Yeah, lost about 4 yards, puts the Falcons at around 2nd and 14. So a great defensive stop on the first play.
Lancers are back to playing deep, and I will not make a comment about it. I think they're playing their defense beautifully so far. The coach has obviously made his adjustments.
So Falcons lining up, ready to take the snap. Simpson take it, looking deep, and he's looking to scramble. He scrambles up the middle, and he's
tries
brought
to
down.
slide.
A really poor slide by him. But
yeah.
But he's brought down around the 30, so he gains back a little bit.
He gets up, so he's good. That's good.
He's all good.
Yeah, you really, you see, if you pay attention to the NFL and you're really, paying attention, watching the little things, a while ago, there was a real concerted effort, especially for Jared Goff specifically, to, hey, you need to learn how to slide.
Yeah.
And I believe with Joe Burrow as well, he got that talk. And what they did actually was bring in an MLB player or baseball players, and it's just hey, this is what we do, this is what you should do. So,
They commonly bring in MLB guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide, and it comes in handy in securing mostly the favorable player of your team to not get injured as
5 slips a sack, but throws an incomplete pass.
Incomplete. So it's now 4th down. The Lancers get a tremendous stop. And with 21 seconds left in the second half, we'll see what they try to do. They do have 2 timeouts left, so possibly a little bit of an effort will be made. Who knows, get inside field goal position as Oxford takes his position back near the 20-yard line to receive the punt.
Oh, he's back there. He has a lot of faith in Cerritos punter's leg.
Cerritos punting, almost blocked by the Lancers, but that one hits around the 30, and it'll.
I see. Autry didn't even want to touch it, which is understandable with how the first punt went.
Bounce around the 22, and that takes 10 seconds off the clock.
I believe we'll see a QB kneel and just run it into halftime.
51-yard punt for Delgadillo.
They're throwing up a signal. I wish I knew what it meant. It looks really cool. I miss that about football. All that, just the camaraderie. Everyone knows everything. They're really out there to help the team win. Fun fact, I had an article written about me because as a sideline player, I noticed a tendency, and I was like, hey, guys, this is what's happening. And they were just like, oh, it is. That's crazy. And we won the game.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And you know what game that was? That was semifinals of the 2016 CIF Southern Section Championship, I believe, to get us into the final, which we won. Little humble brag. We have a CIF champion on the mic. As the Lancers take their knee, as I predicted, to head into the half.
Head into the half. The score of 21-14. So the Lancers will receive the kickoff of the second half, and we'll hope to tie the game. So we'll see what happens after halftime. The coaches will be able to talk to them and
get everyone corralled together, make sure we're on the same page, and make sure we're ready to come back and stamp this game as ours. Really make this ours. And they did. To come back from a one-play touchdown with a one-play touchdown. And it wasn't – their touchdown was great because it was set up beautifully with tactics and such. They ran the play action and got the receiver open.
Yeah.
But Pasadena, they just had that dog, Who was it? Oscar Willis who scored, number 16, or –
For us, number 21 scored on the big play, Jason Sanford on the big one.
Yes, that's right. Pasadena.
So the first half was
Yeah.
So the first half was big. I would say Cerritos held the ball for the majority of the offensive time, and it shows with them being up by 7. But without a doubt, the Lancers are definitely.
Yeah, they never quit, and they came back. They said, exactly like I said, they said, you know what, you want to score one play, we're going to score one play, and they did. They didn't use anything fancy. They just said, Sanford just said, hey, I have the ball now, and I'm going to go score, and he did. And that's exactly what you need.
So the first half started off with a little bit of neutral possessions by either team, both getting stopped on fourth down.
A lot of running, a lot of grinding.
But then after getting a stop on defense, a punt was made to the Lancers. I believe they scored, actually.
The Lancers, Cerritos scored.
Cerritos
so Lancers
scored, yes.
had a turnover on downs. They had a fumble. Cerritos capitalized off of it.
There we go.
And then I believe there was another turnover on downs. We went down 14-0.
14, yeah.
Then we came back, a nice drive, really set our own tone, and got ourselves back into the mix. Had ourselves lost in the mix afterwards with Cerritos' big play, but then really made that mix ours fully with our own play. And like I said with the kickoff, the reason why you want to kick off the first half is, and so you can get that ball in the second half, is because if you're down like this, you come back, you tie it up, and you really make a point, and it's like, okay, this is a new game now.
Yeah.
That first half, that was the first half, buddy. We're a different team now.
Exactly.
We had our orange slices. Our coach gave us a pep talk. We got some water in us now. Like, we're ready to go. All that adrenaline, too. They had that adrenaline dump in the second half, and they get to go back in the locker room and just recuperate all together and just refill themselves, not with adrenaline, but with camaraderie, with teamwork, with that energy, So I'm really expecting a great Lancer squad to come out in the second half.
As a coach going into the locker room, I would say you would say to the team, listen, we are only down 7 points.
Yeah.
This is not a lost game for us. There have been ups and downs for sure, but after the first half being done, hopefully those nerves are gone and they get the ball to start off, and we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. For now, though, we're going to enjoy our marching band. So we're going to let them play and stick around, folks, for the second half.
So game 21-14, and we will be back after this.
Our next song is from Green Day, and singer Billy Joe Armstrong was dealing with anxiety. The only way he knew how to deal with it was to write a song about it. Here is Basket Case. In the studio and the equipment goes down? Well, for the Commodores in 1977, the answer is start to jam. The result was the track and the bass line for a top 5 hit, Brick House. Our next tune was the fastest gold status debut single for Capitol Records since I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles, and put the Knack in the spotlight. Here's My Sharona. A hit, the song was thanks to its unique video and wide play on MTV. Here's our version of a-ha's Take On Me. Ladies and gentlemen, the tradition of excellence, the Pasadena City College Lancer Marching Band and Color. The PCC Lancer Band is under the direction of Mr. Kyle Luck. Assistant Director and Percussion Instructor is Dan Carpenter. Band Manager is Haley Del Rey. Uniform Manager Elizabeth Galvez. Equipment Manager J.D. Harmel. Administrative Assistant Cindy Kramer. Social Media Fernando Peralta. Historian Carter Miller. Percussion Staff Aaron Vaughn. J. Fernando Diaz. Dimitri McLean and S.A. Hall. Color Guard Staff Dr. Deborah Seeley. Enrique Miramontes Jr. and Leslie Valier. Visual and Sports Staff Esteban De Leon, Jonathan Kent, Brad De La Garza, and Jorge Melendez Zavalada. Division D is Dr. Solomon Crooks. For the Tradition of Excellence, I'm Mark Macy. Thank you.
Here are some of the halftime leaders. For Cerritos, Jordan Simpson, 7 completions and 11 passes, 142 yards, 1 touchdown. Leading rusher is Devon Booth, 8 carries for 72 yards, 1 touchdown. Leading receiver, Karan Bates, 3 catches for 99 yards, 1 touchdown. For Pasadena, Anthony Arnaud, 10 of 12 passes completed, 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. Leading rusher, Joaquin Elliott, 7 carries for 45 yards. And leading receivers are Isaiah Smalls, 3 catches, 33 yards, and Jason Sanford, 2 receptions, 80 yards, both for touchdowns.
It's for Noah.
Yeah. You wanna play highlights?
Oh, is it air conditioning in there?
There's more of them.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Robinson Stadium, to the second half of PCC Lancers against Cerritos. I believe we've just been calling them Cerritos. We should probably get the full name. But nonetheless, we're now going to roll some highlight packages from the first half of our Pasadena City College Lancers. Quite the game, quite some players to look out for in the second half. Anybody you have any in specific?
I would say the guy to look at really is Jason Sanford, who's been their primary target in the red zone. 2 receptions, but 2 touchdowns. And 80 yards with the 2. He had that long 72-yard touchdown earlier in the game.
A 40-yard average. That's quite a way to start your college career.
How about you? Anybody should be looking out for?
I was going to say Stanford, but Stanford again, man, like 2 catches, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. There's no better way to start out your college career. You just got to say it again. But besides that, the defense, you know me, I'm a defensive boy. Our big men in the trenches have been holding it down. We have quite a few tackles for losses. We have, I believe, 2 sacks, and one of them was just a dog pile. It was beautiful. One of the best sacks you'll ever see. We might even have more sacks, but the defensive line is holding it together. We had a lot of runs go through in the first half for Cerritos, but I believe we're closing those gaps. I believe we're figuring them out. I believe we're going to come back. Our cornerbacks haven't had too much play, only because Cerritos hasn't thrown it too much, and the times that they have, they've planned it well. They had a very great play-action touchdown for deep. But I think our cornerbacks will have something to show, but more so our defensive linemen, I believe, all around. Specifically, yeah, I said that correctly. I don't often say that correctly. But Osvaldo Regosa, Roland Rodriguez, and Michelangelo Loretto, all of them have had a hand to play in this game already. They're all captains. I believe, I'm not going to say they're all captains, but I know a few of them are. And they're really holding it down. They're really showing why they are captains. If I could pull it up, I know we have, I guess I cannot pull it up. It's okay. Nonetheless, our defense is holding it down. We're only down by a touchdown despite everything that's happened. And it's a testament to our offense as well, as you said, Stanford. I believe our quarterback has some great stats. I don't know if you know anything about that.
Anthony Arnaud so far is 10 for 12 in completions, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. He has been pretty good so far in the first half and looking to make a big impact in the second. For me, a big portion of the game is the offensive line, the big guys, the unsung heroes of it all, and they've given a lot of protection for him. He's had a decent amount of time in the backfield, but they've also allowed the Lancers' leading rusher, Joaquin Elliott, 7 carries for 45 yards so far. So the running game has gotten in there, and they're kind of spreading the ball around, passing the ball, running the ball, and we'll see what they do in the second half.
Yeah, a 6-point-something yard average per carry is very good for a running back. 2 of those, you have more than a first down. So that's great. I'm very, very excited to see more from him. The duo, the trio, really, of our running back and our receiver, our Pasadena hometown boy, Sanford. I'm really looking forward to see that trio happening in the second half. Also, Smalls, our tight end, Isaiah Smalls, he had some plays in the first half. I would love to see him. I always enjoy seeing tight ends get some play in football. I was going to say the NFL, but we're not there yet. I believe some of these men can make it. I see some skill out on this field, out on this Lancers team, and I'll give credit to Cerritos. You know, they might have some future professionals in their team as well. This is a very good game going on so far here in Pasadena. Great football happens in Pasadena. You have the Rose Bowl and you have Robinson Stadium, both of which supplying prime entertainment.
Prime. Both of them playing today.
Yep.
CLA playing earlier and Lancers playing tonight. As they take the field to begin the second half, looking to overcome this 7-point deficit.
Second half kickoff.
And what have I been saying in the first half? They could score 21 in the first half. We could score 22.
Exactly.
And on top of 14 points, that's 36 to 21. Hey, that is a great. That's a great final outcome if we can get it there.
So the Falcons lining up to kick the ball off for the second half.
14, Ivan Ostry.
And the Lancers looking to start things started on offense. That's the great part about deferring is you get the ball to start off as Ostry takes that one out around the end zone. He's taking it out. 5 to 10.
Right.
Finds a hole, hits the hole down the right sideline. Gets to around the 35 and is taken down.
Beautiful, beautiful way to start the half.
A 35-yard gain for the Lancers to begin the second half, and that is a momentum shifter for sure.
Ostry's limping a little. Gotta hope he's okay.
35-yard return by Ostry.
You don't want your first big play to result in an injury. Might just be a cramp. It is still hot out here. It is still very warm. Get a little bit of mustard in his body and he'll be fine.
That's what I remember first game. It's always cramps. It's always that. And you always see guys hitting the thermal, the therm gun.
Yeah. Actually, I don't. I've never heard of the therm gun.
You kind of put on your leg and it massages it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah.
As Lancer takes that short pass.
Two Smalls, just as I called it.
Just short.
Good 6-7 yard gain on that one.
At the Arnold pass.
Starting up that short passing game, which I've seen a lot of in the pregame. I've seen a lot of in routes, a lot of short out routes. So hopefully we could see that going. We all love when they let the ball fly.
Tackles on the play by number 4.
So around a 9-yard gain for the Lancers on a pass from Arnaud to Smalls, and that'll set up the Lancers with a 2nd and 1. Arnaud is set up with Joaquin Elliott in the backfield. These are our team's leading rusher so far. 3-step drop, he's looking, he takes off up the middle, looking to get that 1 yard up the sideline, and he barely collects the first down.
Takes a hit. Arnaud's a big boy at 6'3", 230, but to take a hit as a quarterback is a little bit suspect. You always want to see him, save his body for another day.
You want to make sure that the most valuable player, the quarterback, is protected at all times.
Yeah. We did see our backup quarterback Doolittle come in. He's a sophomore, so you have a little bit of reliability off the bench, but even still, your starter is a starter for a reason, and we want to keep him in the game.
Now, formation, we have really little seen so far. 2 running backs in the backfield. Glover takes that one up the right side, and he collects around 5 yards.
Carry by number 1.
Worked out for them, as you said, something new for the Lancers.
Tackle by number 44, Daniela Mati Leona.
Let's shout out the right side of the offensive line. Big boy, number 77, Guadalupe Cedillo. He's 6'4", 320 from Arleta, California. Went to Arleta High School. He's leading the right side at right tackle and really penetrating the Falcons defense to collect that 5-yard gain. The Lancers coming back in the same formation. Two running backs to either side of Arnaud. And this side, play action. Rolling out left. That pass is deflected by the Falcons, almost intercepted.
Yeah, he's frustrated. He wanted that interception.
But it falls innocently
Arnaud's
to the ground.
pass is
Yeah,
intended
luckily for the
number one,
Lancers,
Isaac
it
Glover.
didn't
It's
happen.
broken up.
Luckily for Arnaud. Is
Cerritos
Arnaud?
number 6, Chase
No,
Nixon.
Arnaud's just catching with the coach. There's a replay of the interception. You can see Arnaud's scrambling ability in full effect. He's been a very, very elusive man today. Not many sacks to Cerritos' name. It was a close one. You don't want many of those. You don't want many of those to happen on the last play. Stay in the pocket. It's called the pocket for a reason. You're safe.
The pass falls innocently, and that brings up 3rd and 5. 12:59 remaining in the third quarter. A handoff to Joaquin Elliott up the middle. He takes it down the left side, and a gain of about 15, I would say, roughly to around the 35 of the Falcons.
The first down carry.
And we get a fresh set of downs.
Tackles on the play, but number 5.
Fresh set of downs.
Good movement so
Milo
far.
Lopez,
Good
along with
movement.
number 8.
We're 3 minutes into the
Arnaud,
quarter, less than 3 minutes into the quarter.
Second.
And we've moved at least to the other side of the field. I'm not going to do the math on how many yards is that.
12 yards.
Started
on the
around the
carry
30, and now the opposing team's 35. So
from the 35.
45? 45,
45,
right?
yeah.
Okay. We're football announcers. We're not mathematicians.
Saw the two-back look again. Arnaud hits it out.
No! Beautiful catch in traffic through contact.
So number 16, Oscar Willis, collects
Arnaud's
that one.
pass completed to number 16, Oscar Willis.
Holds onto that one, and that's another Lancer
Tackled
first
by
down.
number 26,
Beautiful
Jamel
catch.
Blendman, the second.
That's that dog in him. He wanted that, and he held on to it.
12-yard reception.
Michael Crabtree-esque.
Lancers first down.
Sorry. And you were going to say?
So Lancers coming out of halftime, now putting a lot of pressure on the Falcons defense. Really getting that momentum going after a great kickoff return by Ostry to start off the drive.
Yeah, that pep talk in the locker room must have really worked. I'm glad. Maybe listen to the marching band. They were really killing it. Always got to show love to the marching band as Arnaud steps back.
Swings it to Willis again for gain of roughly 4.
Completed to Willis.
A nice little drag route. Those
tackle again
those
by
sleeper
Blendman.
routes.
4 yards on the pass play.
That brings up at around 2nd and 6 with 11:17 left. Scores 21-14. Lancers putting the pressure on the Falcons defense, looking to tie the game up.
They did try the hurry-up offense for a quick second in the first quarter, but it seems that they've entirely abandoned it. Taking their time, really getting to the huddle, getting their plays called.
So Arnaud takes the snap. On a 3-step drop. Pressure by the Falcons defense, and they get him for a loss of about 10 yards.
Arnaud is sacked by number 13.
They check up on Arnaud. He's still good. That was quite a brutal hit.
Thornton.
Just got to bounce back from that one.
Yeah.
Get back up.
That's fine. We had a lot of
yards on the sack.
We had a lot of good plays.
So
there's some give and take to it.
Lancers from the 27.
We have a substitution in. Looks like number 81 for 83.
So Lancers, after gaining a couple of first downs, are put in a difficult position of 3rd and roughly 13.
So we had our Nova Scotia Canadian player come into the game, number 81. As they fake the handoff to him.
Arnaud rolls out right, throws it! That is number 16, Oscar Willis, and he takes that, and that should be almost, or will be, a Lancer first down.
Completed to number 16, Oscar Willis.
So to 3rd and long, the Lancers say boo-hoo, and they collect that one for a first down. They're now inside of 10 yards, or exactly at the 10-yard line.
Yep, we're at 1st and goal. They've dropped the down markers.
17
So it's
yards.
all or nothing here.
So 1st and goal. This drive has so far taken off roughly 6 minutes of the clock. And now they're looking to tie the game up. Arnaud takes a snap, rolls out right. He's looking for the end zone. Can't find anyone, so he has to just tuck it. But a penalty marker is on the field.
We hope not on the Lancers.
Penalty on the play.
As stated before, we hope Arnaud doesn't do that often. Because players want to hit the quarterback. That's the one guy you're not supposed to hit. So who do they want to hit the most?
Number 0 of the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
So that'll be a holding penalty on Joaquin Elliott, and that'll bring the Lancers back roughly 5 yards. That's one of the difficulties of rolling out right as a quarterback. You put the lineman in and really any other player in a difficult position, where they have to kind of get around the defensive player and secure that outside edge. And a lot of the times, holding is a result of rolling out. So a 10-yard penalty, put the Lancers back at the 20-yard line. So 2nd and goal at the 20.
Same setup, it seems. 2 wide each side, although on the right we have a tight end.
Arnaud takes the drop, pressure.
Oh, he stays up, but no, he gets sacked even further back. See, that's the problem with playmaking sometimes is you put yourself in even worse position than you would have been if you just went down the first time. But it happens. From 1st and goal to 1st and forever.
Sack on Arnaud.
So from a 1st and goal at the 10-yard line, they're not at 3rd and goal from the 35.
Well, it seems like we're at 2nd according to the down marker.
We'll take it if it is 2nd down.
Yeah. The scoreboard says 2-2, so hey, 2nd and goal.
2nd and goal from the 35.
But it makes sense though, right? Because the holding call.
Holding call, that is right.
Yeah,
that is right. My apologies.
But no, you're good. Hash marker didn't have it at the time. As Arnaud drops back, hoping to recuperate down to Austria, who catches.
And that's a catch by Oscar Willis. It brings him back down to the opponent's 5-yard line.
Yes, that was Oscar Willis really taking over in the second half so far to start out. Put him into 1st and goal, brought him back into goal, 3rd and goal, still the same.
So from a 2nd and forever, it is now a 3rd and manageable at the Falcons' 7-yard line, looking to score 7 points and tie this game up.
I say give it to Willis.
He's been hot.
This
drive is his.
We can keep Sanford at a perfect, catch to reception ratio. You can go 3 for 3 with 3 touchdowns. I don't believe that's been done since Randy Moss. Oh, and they take a delay a game. Brutal. Brutal.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
After a gain of that, you don't like to see penalties that will bring you back a little bit. Kind of neutralizes the momentum that you just gained. But nonetheless, it is 3rd down at roughly the 11-yard line, 12-yard line.
Yeah, man. Holdings happen in the middle of the play, but when you get a delay game, you didn't even get a chance to get it going, and now you're back 5 yards.
Arnaud takes a snap.
We'll see what they can pull
back,
out of
looking
it.
left. Oh. That is incomplete.
That was a close one. I believe they tried the back shoulder fade, but there's a little bit more finesse that you have to put into those fades to really pull them off.
That pass was intended for Kenneth Russell, number 4, but it was incomplete. Now the Lancers will settle for 3.
It's fine. 3 is still points. Points are points.
So number 94, Justin Vergara, comes out, looking to add 3 to the Lancers total and make this game 21-17. There's a snap, there's the hold, and a fumble!
He throws it.
Chucks it up. That one is incomplete, but could possibly be pass interference on the Falcons.
Now, it could also be ineligible receiver down the field, but we're going to cross our fingers for that PI. Because if I'm not mistaken, that's a fresh set of downs. And we're at the 1-yard line. Or about the 2. White Hat about to make his, they're continuing to discuss. They're actually passing it on to the White Hat so he can make his announcement. We'll listen in. Oh no, wow, this is a tough one to make, huh?
Looks like some confusion by the referees.
Playing rock, paper, scissors. Do you remember that commercial? I believe it was like, guy could have said, what should we have for lunch? I don't know. He's like, your mic's on. Oh, they wave it off.
They're waving off the penalty marker. And it'll now be Falcons ball at roughly their 11, 12-yard line.
On the play.
Quite the bit of confusion all around. We should be seeing the pass interference coming up, which is a tough one. You know, you fumble the ball, and great effort by the holder.
Number 90 was eligible number, and he was on the end of the line. Therefore, we have defensive pass interference. All right.
There is defensive pass interference. Yes, there is. Nice.
So that'll be a first down for the Lancers. They catch a huge break after a misfortunate fumble on the field goal attempt.
That's why you never give up on a play. Great effort by number 90. He's just out there trying to block, and all of a sudden he finds the keeper running right. He knows he's going to want to throw it because you have all these white jerseys running towards him. So he just gets out there, hey, toss it to me, dog. I'm going to make that play. And he made a play. He made something happen.
This drive has been a whirlwind of emotions going back and forth between misfortunate events to tremendous outcomes.
Yeah.
And now the Lancers line up in an I formation.
Interesting formation because
Smalls.
Yeah.
Arnaud drops back looking for the end zone. Can't find anyone, just tosses up out of bounds. The safe call on his part.
But there's a flag on the field, so we'll see. They got to assume it's holding. At this point, the numbers are saying holding.
He threw it out of bounds, but toward Tom, okay. Holding, number 87 of the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. We're going to replay first down.
So that'll be a holding call on number 87, Cameron Woods, the tight end.
Yeah. You know, tight ends want to be receivers, but you're on the line, so you should be with the lineman. You should learn how to block. More so, you should learn where to hold. All the linemen hold. It's just about where you hold.
First and goal for the Lancers from the 16.
So now first and goal from the 16-yard line. Arnaud takes the snap, drops back, he's looking, but hands it off.
Great elusiveness.
That is Joaquin Elliott going down the right sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds finally at roughly the 5.
On the draw play, the carry.
And an injured player down for the Falcons.
Knocked out of bounds by number 8.
Never want to see that.
Nope. That's okay. We'll fill time with something else as we hope he gets better.
So I'm going to take this break and announce just the upcoming schedule for the Lancers. I believe next week they go out to Santa Monica.
Yes, they do, yeah. Beachside.
But they go out to the beach. It'll be nice and cool out there instead of this hot weather here in Pasadena.
We have nightfall, but still quite some warm winds going on.
I don't know. Maybe it's the ground.
And then after that, I believe the following week will be at home at Robinson Stadium against Santa Ana, which will be a matchup of last year's SoCal Bowl. So that'll be interesting, and that'll be fun to watch.
Very interesting, yeah. That's a great game to put it at number 3. Catch your stride, really get in there.
So they got Santa Monica next week, then Santa Ana followed up at home. Antelope Valley, it's an away game, then they come back home to play against Moore Park. And that'll cap up the month of September. Followed up the next week, they play Desert College, then Grossmont the following. October 29th, they're playing against Compton, then they go into the month of November, where they play Victor Valley and Mountain St. Jacinto, and that'll cap off the 2022 season.
Real quick, I just want to give props to the Cerritos player walking off the field under his own volition. Love to see that. How do we end the season, though?
We end the season with Mount San Jacinto to end off the 2022 season, and then hopefully at that point, playoffs.
Playoffs, baby.
Lancers line up 2 running backs in the backfield, and Arnaud takes that one up the middle, going up, powering, and that one, touchdown, Lancers! And after a whirlwind drive of emotions, they cap it off with 7 points and tied the game with 6:36 remaining in the third quarter.
Quite the quarter. Quite the quarter.
Quite the first drive. It's taken roughly 9 minutes off the clock.
I was going to say, it's not even over yet. This has just been 1 quarter and 1 drive, 1 team only. If our defense is not, as the PAT is good, always love to see that. If our defense is not rested and ready to go, please get straight.
6-yard touchdown run.
You guys gotta ask some questions. But 21-21, 6 minutes, 36 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. The Pasadena City College Lancers have finally tied it up. After a very, very back and forth game, which isn't so much about scoring good plays, but more so, like you said, just misfortunes and just crazy luck.
That drive started off strong with a roughly 30-yard kickoff return. They then marched down the field to get 1st and goal. They then got brought back to a 2nd and goal at the 35. Got back to 3rd and goal at the 5. Then were brought back to 3rd and goal at the 15.
And then a field goal on 4th down.
4th down.
And then a lucky break with the PI off the muffed hold.
And after all that, they finally kept it off with a 6-yard touchdown run by Anthony Arnault to tie the game up 21-21.
Arnault said, hey, I'm done throwing. I'm going to run this in myself.
So now number 94, Justin Vergara, lines up to kick the ball off to the Falcons.
Hey, there we go. I was hoping to see that as well. Good
Another pooch kick collected by number 23, and that'll be a fair catch. The Falcons will have the ball at roughly their own 23-yard line.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Falcons at the 25.
So 1st and 10 for the Falcons at the 25-yard line. Here comes their offense. This is now their first drive of the 2nd half after a very long one by the Lancers. Looking to come back and get their lead back. The Lancers defense will hopefully have a strong response to that.
We call that ball control.
Oh, yeah.
The professionals call that ball, or time management as well. A Patriot staple.
Oh, Tommy.
Possible timeout.
Offside on the kicking team. 5 yards, re-kick.
Very interesting penalty to get an offsides on a kickoff.
That's a late call.
Yeah, right? How do you? Were they watching our stream or something? Did they catch on a few seconds late?
So now the Lancers will have to re-kick. But you should expect probably the same exact thing, a little pooch kick to the right side, which has been working well for them thus far.
Okay, now they're placing it.
There you go. The only difference being they'll now be kicking from the 30 instead of 35.
Quite the chance going on Cerritos' end of the field. You gotta love school spirit.
So Vergara lining up for the 2nd time now. And he's going to pooch that one to the right side.
Well, it seemed like a normal kick. It was just so far back.
Collected by Cerritos, and there Cerritos goes. And he is finally tackled down at the Lancers' 45-yard line. A great kickoff return for the Falcons. And that's a tough break for the Lancers after an offside call.
Return to number 21, Zedekiah Rodriguez-Brown.
You go from the opposing team's
Tackle to number 3,
35
Osvaldo Regosa.
or 25. So now you're on 40. Or what is that, about 42, 43? That's a rough one.
46 yards.
That's about half a quarter right there of offensive plays that you just gave them on the kickoff. So.
A 46-yard kickoff return now to start off their drive. As the Falcons are lining up.
You got to see what their offense brings out for the 2nd half.
Lancer defense showing blitz. Here they come. And he's going to throw deep. And he's got someone. Oh, he dropped it!
Wow, right through his hands.
The Falcons had someone wide open for a touchdown in the end zone, but he just dropped it.
It was right in his breadbasket, as you'll see again. Right there, exactly where the quarterback wants to put it. But he just wasn't expecting it, and it slipped right through it.
Took his eyes off the ball. He got too excited for the touchdown and just dropped it.
Yep, thought ahead. He thought about how he was going to celebrate. And now you're back in the huddle. Everybody wants the gritty, but nobody wants to score a touchdown.
And so now loud chants coming from the Lancers fans. Lancers have 5 up on the line. A little toss to the right side. Number 11 for Cerritos gains a few yards, and it'll now be around 3rd and 2.
Makes up his drop pass with a large gain.
Jordan Simpson to number 11.
That's good. That's good faith in your players to just, hey, you know, relax. We'll get you the ball this next time. Make up for it.
8 yards on the pass play.
Good on them.
It's up to 3rd and 2 from the 34.
So 3rd and 2 from the 34, with 5:50 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Falcons look like they're going to run it. They do to the left side, and that will be enough for a Falcons first down.
Yeah, there's blitzing going on by the Lancers, more so trying to run stop. But with run stopping, you need to fill holes. They're creating holes with their blitzes because whatever they're trying to do, whether it's run moves or they're just saying, hey, go after these guys. It's not about going after the linemen. You got to go after the gaps that the linemen are trying to create. Fill the hole so that the running back has nowhere to run.
Tackle to number 56, Luis Canales.
So now 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line.
5 yards on the carry.
After a 5-yard carry for the Falcons.
Very tight look on both sides.
Snap, a drop. Under pressure, but he's able to sneak away, and he gets some yards.
Goodness. A lot of attempted arm tackles on the Lancer side, and that's not something you want to see. Those are not fundamentals. Those are not the drills you run in practice. Something definitely to clean up on the Lancer side in the future.
So after a lot of pressure, Jordan Simpson's able to avoid it, and he now gains roughly 6 yards on the play.
Got 2 elusive quarterbacks out on the field tonight.
2nd and 4 at the 24.
Little bunch formation.
Falcons take it, hand it off to the right side. Number 6 goes up. And that'll be enough for a Cerritos first down and a little bit more.
As the back gets dogpiled, he try to play a little extra to get some extra yards, but you just got a few extra bodies on you. Good on the Lancers. Everyone swarmed to the ball. 11 heads to the ball. One of my favorite football sayings.
So that is a carry by Cerritos running back Booth, who is their leading rusher so far this game.
I want to give credit to the Cerritos wide receivers. Right now, seeing that play, they have good blocking. Like to run 3 receivers on the right side and then run it to that right and have holes open up like they did. Very impressive as Cerritos goes for a run again. Down the middle, 6 was able to stay up for a second. Gains about 5-6 yards, 4 or 5 yards.
So another handoff to Booth up the middle.
Booth on the carry. Michelangelo Loretto.
It'll be now roughly 2nd and 7.
On the tackles for PCC.
Michelangelo Loretto on the tackle.
There we go. One of the captains of this PCC defense.
For Cerritos at the 13.
Now here they come. 4 receivers spread out wide. 11's put in motion. Fake toss to him. Simpson rolls out right, and he's put under pressure. He just chucks that one away. Out of bounds, but I believe he was outside the tackle zone, so no intentional grounding will be called against him.
Might have hurt himself. He comes up a little labored.
Great pressure by the Lancer defensive line.
Yeah, we're getting great pressure, but it's about finishing. You got to be able to finish those. We want sacks. We don't want pressures. QB pressures are good. You know, that's a stat that they keep up on. But sacks, that's what you need. That's what you want. You need to put that quarterback. You need to put the ball, not just the quarterback. You need to put the ball back there.
So now roughly 3rd and 7. Lancers looking for a stop to hold the Falcons to 3. Cerritos lines up, quarterback under center. He drops back, looking right, chucks it up to number 88. And that one is caught for a Falcons touchdown.
Touchdown, Cerritos.
A 13-yard touchdown reception by number 88 of Cerritos, and they now go up 27-21 with 2:58 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, they just leave them open in there. I think there should be a little bit more, the zone isn't just the zone you're standing in. It's not just the spot that you're in. There's 5-6 yards you need to cover, so you need to make sure you're following people box to box in your zone. In that case, you should have followed 88. At least a little bit to the left. You make that quarterback wait an extra second or 2, he'll look away, he'll go on to the next receiver, and that's all you need. A second or 2 of blockage.
Now number 19 for Cerritos kicks that one up, and the PAT is no good.
Huh.
That one was kicked too far right, and so the score will remain 27-21 with 2:58 remaining in the third.
Cerritos 27, the Lancers.
So even though they got the touchdown, they missed the PAT, and that puts the Lancers in a position to take the lead.
Yep. No 2-point needed. Defense still held them back for quite a bit of time, though. Gave the offense time to rest, and the offense looked good coming out of the second half, so hopefully they can keep it going in the second drive.
That was roughly a 6-minute drive by the Falcons, and brings us to the final 3 minutes as Ivan Ostry and Joaquin Elliott line up to receive the kick.
They switch, though.
Switching sides. They keep kicking it to the right side, so
I believe that's number 10 on the left side.
I believe it's 0. Oh, number 10 is out there instead of Ostry.
Yeah.
My apologies.
So we had Joaquin and Isaac
Joaquin
Rodriguez.
Elliott takes that one, and he brings it out to the 25.
Return by number 0.
That's good.
Joaquin
Solid placement. Basic placement, we'll say.
Tackle by number 4, Chandler Dixon.
So we'll see now, since Ostry wasn't out there, if he comes out for offense, hopefully everything is good on his end.
I do recall seeing him come out with a cramp. That's when we made our mustard reference. He's probably downing some mustard right now. Mustard-covered bananas, to be more specific.
Really?
You're like, ill. And yeah, you're still ill when you're eating it, but also when you're not cramped up a few minutes later, you're like, all right, fine.
There's always pickle juice.
Oh, yeah, that's another one, too.
Oh,
Pickle
yeah.
juice, yeah. Let's get some pickle juice. I'm going to get cramped up just so I can eat mustard and pickle juice. As PCC lines up. A handoff.
And Elliott takes that one for no gain.
The carry by Joaquin Elliott.
I believe we'll just take it slow. We still have a whole nother quarter. And as you said, Lancers have the chance to take the lead very easily just with the extra point after a touchdown.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10 from the
So
25.
no gain on the play, 2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line. Lancers looking to bounce back from allowing a Falcons touchdown. Arnaud's in the backfield with number 1,
Isaac Glover.
Takes a snap, play action, throws it right.
Oh, Willis.
And that one is incomplete to Oscar Willis.
Arnaud, after having scored that touchdown, seems like, it seems like maybe take the game in his hands right now. Try a little bit of game management. That was a good throw. There was just also good coverage on it.
3rd and 10.
So 3rd and 10 for the Lancers. They have gained no yards on this drive thus far.
I can only imagine Arnaud's going to go deep.
So 3 wide receivers out, a tight end to the right side of the line.
Good call-outs even from the running back.
Here comes a little bit of blitz from the Falcons. Arnaud throws at number 87 for the Lancers. Takes that, and that's a first down.
First down by Cameron Woods.
Arnaud's pass completed.
So the Lancers say, who cares, to a 3rd and long, and they gain roughly 11 yards on that one.
It's good for a Lancers first down.
So a Lancers first down at their 35, 36-yard line.
Number 5, Milo Lopez.
As we said, Anthony Arnaud just probably going to take the game in his hands right now. He's feeling confident after that touchdown. He's feeling confident after all that drive. And we're ready to see it as Willis goes out wide right.
So Arnaud takes the snap, rolls out right.
Oh, short
Throws it
pass.
to number 4, Kenneth Russell, but is tackled behind the line for a loss of 3.
Never want to see that. Never want to see that. Sure, he's an open man, but you got to see who's in front of him. And if it's nothing but white jerseys, maybe not. I would love to see a deep shot. I would love to see Willis's chances on a 50-50 ball, or even Sanford, possibly. I don't believe we've seen him in the second half so far.
So Lancers line up. 3 receivers out wide. They got Isaiah Smalls to the left of the line. Takes a snap, hands it off to Elliott. Or excuse me, Isaac Glover takes it up the middle for a gain of roughly 3 yards. So they gain back the loss of yardage from the last play, and that will make it 3rd and 10.
Quite possibly another Arno touch of magic.
Gain of 3 on the play.
We'll see. Maybe he'll go left side to number 86, our man from Austria, Daniel Schwarm.
Zaire Thornton.
Austria. I saw London as well on the roster.
Really?
London.
Oh, man, I can't wait to see him on the field. I can't wait to see what plays he brings up.
Lancers line up. Arno takes the snap, jogs back 2 steps, throws it the right side to the Glover, looking to break a tackle, stiffs arm. And some penalty markers come in late.
I gotta assume that's on Cerritos, maybe some level of taunting, because that was a clean stiff arm. He didn't get much on that play, but that was a great stiff arm.
Yeah, possibly some extracurricular activities going on after the play.
Yeah, when you get dropped to the floor like that, it's not nice. You don't want to be nice. But so we'll see what the call is right now as they make it.
After the play, we have a personal foul, late hit, number 18 of the defense. That 15-yard penalty at the end of the run. First down.
Yeah.
So a 15-yard penalty on Cerritos for a late hit on number 18. So that'll give the Lancers a brand new set of downs.
That's the downside of brotherhood. You see your brother get pushed down, you know, and you just want to get that guy back, but the play's over, and now you've given up 15 yards. As we reach the end of the third quarter, Lancers 21, Cerritos 27. And quite the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, Lancers kind of controlled the ball for the majority of the beginning. I mean, a 9-minute drive started off. That's tremendous time management. Cerritos then takes roughly a 4-minute drive down the field, caps it off with a touchdown.
And now we're here.
And they missed the extra point, and now we're here 27-21. Lancers still have the ball now. It's 1st and 10. Looking to march down the field and score and hopefully take the lead.
I was told by our producer, like, you know, the third quarter kind of, you know, so-so. Dead wrong. I'm going to let him know he's dead wrong because this third quarter, amazing.
Exciting.
Yeah, that first drive alone was literally an entire game with that first drive, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was still on it. Was a whole game with just the amount of back and forth and mishaps and luck and all that. Like, you get that in an entire NFL game, and we had it in one drive with the Lancers. As we get some announcements through the stadium, a little bit discombobulating. All these noises coming through. But
So
we're
Lancers take the field now to start the fourth quarter. This is it, 4's up. The final 15 minutes to show who will win this game.
Austria down the middle.
And a tremendous game from Ivan Oster, who comes back into the game after being out for a couple of possessions.
That was a great play to fake the handoff to the running back and then just kind of halfback draw it still to Austria with the blocker in front of him. With that running back. Good game. Fresh head of downs, it seems. I was assuming it was going to be inches, but we might not do that here.
So 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line of Cerritos. Isaac Glover in the backfield with Arno. 3 receivers out wide, tied into the left of the offensive line. Snap by Arno, 3-step drop. Throws it over to Isaac Glover, takes that down the right sideline, and he's tackled out of bounds at the 10.
Amazing play, amazing. Finally, a screen that's working for us, huh?
A great gain of yards.
Number 1, Isaac Glover.
Great
pass
open
from
field.
Arno, yeah. Pass from Arno to Glover.
20 yards and another Lancers first
down. A 20-yard gain, another Lancers first down. Or sorry, they called them out, I guess, out of bounds at roughly the 17-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the 17.
We could use the clock, right? Oh, they didn't stop the clock. It wasn't out of bounds. Or they want this game to be over.
Arno takes it, drops back. Looks left to Smalls, but
it seems Small got held up by the cornerback. No PI call, but got held up.
Arno's pass
just got in the middle of his route. It's probably the best thing you can do as a cornerback. You see a ball like that, you see the difference between, you might not be able to see the difference, but when you see him throw it to him, number 2, the difference between our tight end, Smalls, number 7, and their cornerback, number 2, that's not just a 50-50 ball, you throw that to them. That's about 70-30.
Yeah.
favoring us. Smalls is a big man.
Yeah, throw that up. So he's 6'3", 230.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. You got to throw that one up there and trust your guy to go up and grab it as Arnaud takes a snap. Drops back, looking deep.
Oh.
And he's taken down from the Falcons' defensive line for a loss of like 1 yard. That'll bring up 3rd and 11.
Yeah, he tried. And he could have had, he had some green ahead of him. He could have got at least 4 or 5 yards.
By number 11.
But number 11, great athleticism, is able to catch up to him. Great play, too, to make a diving tackle as such. Because I believe Smalls is coming back
Elijah
in.
Dalton.
Cameron Woods, I'm sorry. Cameron Woods was going to go in, comes out. Smalls goes in.
Loss of 1 for the Lancers. 3rd and 11.
I want to see some double tight end setup. Go old school Patriot way. Just go crazy with it.
Lancers set up. Arnaud takes a snap. Looks quickly to the left side.
Ooh.
Smalls takes it, but little to no gain on that play.
Arnaud's pass completed to number 7.
So now 4th and 10, and the Lancers will decide to bring out the field goal unit.
Tackle by number 2.
What are the odds?
Jaden Dunlap.
We get another pass interference.
Brings up a 4th
Let's
down.
hope high.
Yeah, right. You can only hope high.
A field goal.
I hope we don't have another muffed handle, which has been happening for us. That's definitely something you want worked out by preseason.
And here comes the kick. That one is up and good by Vargas, who puts the Lancers up to 24 points and is now 27-24 with 12:03 left in the entire game.
12:03 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Now, luckily for the Lancers, Cerritos doesn't seem to have much time management. They seem to score quick if they want to score, or if they do. Or they seem to, they have some time management in the sense that they can get first downs just through good plays, through good play calling and through good playing. But I think no matter what, the Lancers will have time on offense. At least 2 more drives, I would say, hopefully. Just to really get it tied up, get a lead, and send us home with the W.
So Lancers kickoff unit coming out now. Vergara going to kick it to the Falcons. Looking to pin them deep. We'll see if they do the pooch kick they've been doing a couple of times before.
We might have a special lineup. Yeah, they're coming out of their huddle. Oh, okay, no. Thought it was going to be one of those Pee Wee football, trickery plays. The swinging gate is enough trick plays for one game, right? Yeah, okay. It's like one team chooses, hey, we'll go crazy on this thing. It's like, okay.
Here comes the kick from Vergara. You see the pooch kick to 84, calls for the fair catch, and the Falcons will be set up at roughly the 29.
Good coaching on the Cerritos side to take that into account and just tell your players, hey, fair catch it. Don't try and be a hero. Let your offense do what they're supposed to. And hopefully the Lancer defense does what they're supposed to and gets us to stop here. I believe in them, personally. I think Cerritos may try and time manage, so our defensive line might have a lot of opportunity to show up right now. But run stopping isn't just the linemen, though. It's also linebackers and even cornerbacks. When those running backs spill out, the cornerbacks can't be afraid to hit. They can't be. They got to be able to fight off their receiver, their blocker, and they got to be able to make tackles.
So Cerritos lines up 2 running backs in the backfield. There's 12:02 left in the game. Takes a snap. Play action, throws it deep to number 2, but it's overthrown. Just misses his receiver on a deep pass. He had him, but just overthrew it, so it'll now be 2nd and 10 at the 30-yard line.
Is incomplete.
Yeah, they have that's a really good quarterback to be able to throw on breaks, because that was a great throw. He would have caught that, and that would have been a very big play, just, a little bit overthrown. You got to know how tall your receivers are. Not everyone's the same height.
Tonight has been fun, though. Crowds on both sides have been great. You hear a lot of chants coming from both sides, and I even see waves occurring here and there.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to pay more attention to the stands. I love the wave.
Snap by Cerritos. Quick pass over to the right side, number 2. Takes it up the sideline and is tackled at roughly the 40-yard line.
Now that's a good way to set up the arm tackle, is you're actually setting them into the inside where your teammates are coming from, and you got a big hit like that. They're coming in, you're going out. Boom.
And that'll be enough for a Falcons first down.
For Cerritos first down at the 40.
They got the ball at the 40-yard line. Simpson in the backfield. 2 wide receivers out left.
Cerritos move under center. Hand it off to the right. Good stop by the defensive line, I would say. Really pushed everyone. Kept that running back behind his lineman. Had nowhere to go but out of bounds. I would say the Lancers, from their formation, from what I'm seeing, definitely trying to stop the run. Like I said, that defensive line shifting down with them. So are the linebackers. They're not being over-aggressive. They're staying over top, waiting for the running back to come out. Could be good, could be bad, but obviously right now, quite good.
So second and about 7. The 43-yard line for the Falcons. Take the snap. Hands it off to number 6 on the left side. We have some Lancers there, but they keep missing.
Yep, arm tackles, man. That's not, I get it, but still, you can't be arm tackling.
But nonetheless, the Falcons are held to a minimal gain.
27, Jaylon McGee.
Stopped by number 7, Jaylon McGee.
Yeah. They're still doing the right thing again of like pushing the player into the field. You don't want to push them out to the sideline because you don't have players out there. Everyone's in the middle, so you want to conjoin them in. As we have our stands getting quite loud here, I need to move my microphone closer.
Some loud defensive chants from the Lancers home fans. A snap from Cerritos. He's looking deep, chucks it up, and just misses number 4 on the left sideline, and that'll be incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down.
It looks like their punting team is coming out, so they're not going to try and go for it.
10:05 remaining in the 4th quarter.
You see what I'm saying? They could have time managed because they could have still kept getting first downs, but not so much. Now we have 10 minutes. It took the Lancers 9 minutes on the first drive, so we might see the end of the game right here. This might be the start of the end of the game if the Lancers are able to have a repeat of that first drive.
Here comes the punt by Cerritos. That one's put there back there.
That one's a boot.
A fair catch call.
Oh, and no. Drop on it. There you go.
And a fumble. Let's see who comes up with it.
Oh, Cerritos.
And the Falcons regain the ball off a fumble.
On the punt return.
Big break for the Falcons.
And just how in about 10 seconds, everything has changed.
Yep. You heard me talking before that punt, and now you hear me not talking after it because I am just speechless. Just speechless. With the ball like that, something like that, I'm not going to blame it on the player. I'm going to blame that on the coach. Because why, as the coach, are you not letting your players know, hey, if you can't get under it, let it be. Run away. Clear out. Yeah. Even in high school, my coach was telling them, bro, if that looks weird to you, just run straight. Just tell everyone to stay away and run straight so that there's no fumble like what just happened.
Yeah, safer to let the ball go than give up a fumble like that. So Cerritos lines up, heavy set, tosses it to the right. Got some Lancers there, and they tackle him for no gain.
The carry by number 6, Devon Booth. Tackle by number 8, Roland Kia.
We need more contact on this Lancer team. I think, maybe arm tackles isn't like a lack of coaching, but more so just a lack of familiarity with getting hit and wanting to feel those thumps. You got to get in front of your man and stop that man, especially when it's the running back with the ball.
So second down at the Lancers 9-yard line. About 9:10 left in the 4th quarter. 2 wide receivers wide out left. And a timeout call on the Falcons.
Timeout. Cerritos, their first charge timeout of the half.
Yeah, from both teams, right? Lancers haven't called the timeout either.
Lancers have not called the timeout just yet. Which is really good coming down to the final minutes of the game, have all 3 and set them up real well.
Yeah, but what's not good is being down 3, and if they score, you're down 10.
Yeah.
They might go for 2. You miss a field goal, you're just like, all right, go for 2 at this point, you know? They got to make it up. And then even if not, we're still up 9 points.
Bend but don't break is most likely the message being put out to the defense right now.
Yep.
As Cerritos comes out after taking a timeout, probably didn't like what they saw.
Probably a pep talk too. Hey man, get this down their throat right now. Hey, we're feeling good. We're making them work.
Just know that if you score here, that'll put a big deficit on the Lancers.
Yeah, and we got here again by a muffed punt from number 0. And again, it happens.
First game, it happens.
Yeah, you just got to hope the defense can make up for it right now. We'll see.
Cerritos takes the snap, hand off to the left side, and a little reverse by
Oh, no, they got it off. And they scored.
Touchdown, Cerritos.
And the Falcons score off a reverse.
No, we have some defeated players on the field, and it makes sense. I thought they stopped them too. I knew it was a reverse because I seen the ball, but I actually thought they might have caught the fumble or picked it off, but Cerritos able to pull off the trickery, and then they pull up with more trickery with the swinging gate. Oh, and they're going to snap it. No, they don't.
So the Falcons score is now 33-24 pending the extra point with 8:50 remaining in the game. Here comes number 19 after missing the extra point last time around. Takes the snap, and he puts that one through the uprights.
Oh, no.
Never mind.
Man, we have such different angles from those refs, huh?
No good.
The angle we're sitting, it just looks like it goes in.
Right?
Can't tell.
That's crazy.
Remaining in the fourth quarter
Man.
to score.
Well, I hope that kicker still has a scholarship come Monday.
Yeah.
I'll say that much. I really hope he's still on the team on Monday.
So now 2 missed extra points by the Falcons kicker, and that leaves the game 33-24. So they're winning by 9. 8:50 left. Still a lot of time to make something happen. 3 timeouts for the Lancers.
Yep.
They just got to move the ball down the field at a quick pace.
You just got to be confident in yourself. I think the Lancers, they can do it. They have the players. They have the skills. I think maybe they're trying too much. Maybe they're like, that might be it. Maybe they're just trying too much. Just keep it simple. Cerritos is running wide because it's working. They're running down the middle when they want to just take a break. And they're throwing when they have to. And, you know, it's working. The Lancers just need to find what's working for them and stick to it.
So here comes the kick by the Falcons. Ostry and Elliott in the backfield.
Oh.
A little miscommunication by them, but Ostry takes it.
Oh,
Going down the left side. He evades some tackles. He's still on his feet.
But
not going down so easy, but he's taken out of bounds at roughly the 18-yard line.
And he was taken backwards. He didn't go down easy, but he was getting taken back. And, again, that's what you want to avoid. You also want to avoid those two mishaps. First of all, they both bump into each other. Then they separate. Ostry starts to run. And then they bump into each other again as they come back. Definitely not something you want to see as the coach talks to the offense right now. Gets everyone corralled together. Keep the camaraderie high. Keep the confidence high.
8:41 left, down by 9. Plenty of time to make something happen.
I've seen them score in one play before.
There we go.
So I'd say there's plenty of time.
Sorno in the backfield takes a snap, looking to the left side. Throws it to Oscar Willis, who
shrugs off that defender. He just says, "Get off me, little boy. Don't you know who I am?" Oscar number 16 Willis. Don't you know who I am?
Number 26 Jamel Blendman.
But just like that, those out routes, that's what's working for him. And once they start playing out, then you start coming in. Little things like that.
5-yard pass.
8 minutes, a little more than 8 minutes, you can get down the field and score.
So a 5-yard gain sets up 2nd and 5. They're at their own 24. Play action pass, looking deep.
He
fumbles the ball, but stays on his feet, collects it back up. He's running left. And he's still going. Arnaud is still going, and he's taken down finally at the 35.
Playmaker Arnaud really wants to win this game. I'll give it to him. I just hope he stays careful because I'm liking what I see, but I want to make sure I see it for the whole season. As we give you guys another look at the run. Very impressive to recover from the fumble.
15-yard
and stay elusive. For being as big a boy as he is, he's very elusive.
1st and 10 for the Lancers.
It's kind of effort you like to see from not only your quarterback, the leader of the team, but you want to see that from everyone now.
Yeah.
Hopefully that gets us started. Arnaud takes a snap, hands it off. Going up the middle. Kicks out left and taken down at the 40 for a gain of 5.
That's a solid tackle. I want to give credit to Cerritos. As number 58 comes from the sidelines, he was getting pushed away by a cornerback. That was, you know, a little bit of roughness on the defensive end. Great tackle by Cerritos, though. That's exactly how you do it. Head in the stomach or head up, both hands around, and just tackle through. But the Lancers hopefully finding their stride right now, getting a little mix between passing and running.
We've now hit the 7-minute mark of the 4th quarter. 7 minutes left in the game. Arnaud in the backfield, takes a snap. Looking to the right, throws it to the right.
You see, just like that, you got an in route. And we're moving.
And that one is number 86.
Arnaud's pass completed.
I believe that is the...
Daniel Schwab.
That's the tight end.
It's a tight end.
I know, we have some stats next to us, but they're a little bit of technical, you know what I'm saying? 86?
I believe that is that the...
Are you saying Austrian Daniel
guy?
Schwab?
Yeah.
Going international here at Pasadena. Robinson Stadium, we're a melting pot. Canadians, Austrians, Londonians, which is what I assume they're called.
And that'll be a false start.
Ooh.
False start. Offense.
Dang.
5-yard penalty remains first down.
That's a rough one, but it happens.
When you call a hard count like that, you got to be on the same page. You just got to remember to stand still. Don't move.
That adrenaline's racing, though. You want to get that score back.
Yeah.
You're getting good plays. And it happens, but it also kills the momentum.
So that penalty moves them back 5. It's now 1st and 15 on their own 47. 2 receivers out left. Arnaud takes a snap, hands it off up the middle for a gain of about 4.
Carry by Joaquin Elliott. Tackled by number 90, Alama Collins.
So we've now just about hit 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. Clock is ticking. It is not on the side of the Lancers. They got to speed it up a little bit here.
Maybe get back into that hurry-up offense.
2nd and 11 from the 49.
2 receivers out left with Smalls as tight end to the left of the offensive line. Arnaud takes a snap, drops back 4. Looking deep, looking for number 4. He gets it. He drops it. A hard hit, but penalty flags come in.
Very interesting flag. Very interesting flag.
And the Falcons fans do not like that one. Those penalty flags coming after the hit.
They don't. As an NFL fan, if I seen that in the NFL, I would understand. But as a Lancers commentator, I'm going to say that is a very clean call by the refs, and I agree. But we'll see. We had one flag almost get waved off earlier, so there seems to be a lot of deliberation going on. We might perhaps see something similar. There's some pointing and agreeing, and now we get to hear the call. Come on, ref, stop with the teasing.
Personal foul. Late hit on the head and neck area this way, but not targeted. We have 15-yard penalty, first down.
Interesting specification to say that it was a late hit but not a targeting.
Targeting would have, man, you probably would have been ejected.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming too.
But a 15-yard penalty puts the Lancers and gives them a first down.
Lancers ball at the Cerritos 34.
Yeah, Cerritos 34.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll take the 15 over an ejection.
Motion by number 4. Snap by Arnaud. Takes it. He's looking to the right. Throws it. And caught.
Oh, wow. Our Joaquin Elliott, our running back. Now, he's used to taking hard hits, but catching a ball through that hard hit, that's impressive. Great hands by Elliott.
Love to see the versatility in the running backs, getting involved in the passing game a little bit.
Yep.
Sets up another first down for the Lancers at the 18-yard line.
The Cerritos 18.
4:45 left in the fourth quarter. They are marching down. They need to get a score quickly so they have enough time to get the ball back.
Yeah, that's very important. It's not just about this score. It's about getting the ball back for the next one. And that next one doesn't even have to be crazy. You're down by 9.
Arnaud takes a snap, looking left. Miscommunication, throws it into nowhere land.
Rough. Oh, and it seemed like Arnaud took a hit, too. He came crawling off the floor.
Looked like some miscommunication between receivers out there, but nonetheless, they come back for 2nd and 10.
Yeah, you know, that was the last play. We'll move on to the next. It's fine. I think between that, between the hard count and that, now definitely it's just like, hey, let's make sure we're communicating thoroughly. Let's make sure everybody knows what we're doing. We don't have time to waste. And one of my favorite Army sayings is slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So take your time. Take your time and make sure things are smooth. As smooth as that run as he makes it to the end zone for 6.
Touchdown, Lancers! Isaac Glover takes a handoff on Arnaud and sneaks it all the way to the end zone for an 18-yard rushing touchdown.
From Burbank to Pasadena, the Pasadena end zone. I was like, not saying the Pasadena end zone doesn't work. I fixed it. We're fine.
So now 33-30 with 4:21 remaining, pending the extra point. Vergara stepping back. Here's the snap, here's the hold, and there's the kick. Goal clean from that one. And it is now 33-31 with 4:21 left.
4:21.
So now the question is, as a coach, do you go for an onside kick or do you kick it and trust your defense to get a stop?
I think first game you trust your defense, because even if you don't get the stop, you get the lesson. There are no losses, there are only lessons. And I think at this point with the game that's gone on, you trust your defense and you just say, hey, you know what, you guys go out, you play your game. And then on Monday, we'll see. We'll see on Monday. But just go out there and do your thing. They got the stop. They got the stop last time. Not last time, but the time before that. And it was just a little mix-up that put them out there again to kind of undo that. But now they could redo that, get a stop here, and we're only down by 2 points. You get anything. If they get a safety right now, we're tied up. That's how close it is.
So Vergara getting ready to kick the ball to the Falcons.
We'll see, Pooch or regular. And it's off, seeming a little bit in between.
A Pooch kick, fair catch called by number 84, and it'll be started at the Falcons' 23-yard line. 4:21 left. And I would assume now, as the defense goes out there, if they can't get a 3-and-out right away, we'd probably start seeing timeouts being called by the Lancers to keep time on the clock. Let's hope the Lancers defense has one last push in them.
Let's hope we can keep them contained. Keep the top from being blown off. I think that's the biggest thing to watch for here. Are they going empty backfield? No. Cerritos is going under center. But their second touchdown came from a play action, and they've been doing a lot of runs, so you really want to watch out.
And a false start by the Falcons will put them back 5, so not going well for the Falcons, but going very well for the Lancers, and we will take that. That puts them now back to the 20-yard line.
You see, Pooch kick. Pooch kicks work.
And both sides having trouble with hard counts right now.
Yep.
But we'll now see some smash mouth football with the Falcons most likely running the ball for the remainder of this drive. And here goes the snap. Handoff to the left side. Taken.
Oh.
Evading tackles, and it'll be stepped out of bounds.
I believe we'll take that. You could take the gain, but you stop the clock, and they didn't stop the clock. Very interesting that we're not stopping the clock on out of bounds.
I believe within 2 minutes. I think is when they start stopping it.
Oh, okay.
So.
But for out of bounds, like, aren't all out of bounds supposed to stop the clock?
I'm not sure.
No? Oh, okay. I need to play more Madden so I can read up all my rules and knowledge.
Cerritos Takes the snap, hand up to the left side, and he evades some tackles. He finds a hole, and he gets down the field to run the 42. And that'll be a Falcons first down. So they have a little bit of trouble with the false start, but gain back all the yardage and a bit more.
Yep. You can have all the penalties you want if you're making them up with big runs and touchdowns, which it seems like Cerritos have been doing.
And now I would assume quickly we'll start seeing timeouts coming from the Lancers coaches if they cannot get a few stops here.
What we just saw from the Lancers coaches is them asking for the fans. And we hear them. The fans are really cheering right now. They want this defense to get this stop as we get a run to the right.
Run to the right, and that one is stopped for a short gain by the Lancers defense. Exactly what we need.
Number 56, Luis Canales, Southgate High School from Southgate. Big man in the trenches, 5'10", 270. You're not getting past that very easily.
Now that sets up a 2nd and 10 at the 41. There's 2:40 left in the game.
And time's winding down as well. That's not a stiff 2:40. That's now a soft 2:30.
And here come the Lancers fans, making as much noise as possible to get their team up. 5 seconds left on the play clock. Snapped it just in time. Throw to the left side. Lancers defense corralling, and they get the stop.
Yeah, good stop. That could have definitely gone for a lot longer, but it wasn't an arm tackle, but it was an arm drag, and he slowed him down enough for his teammates to get to him, and that's good. 11 heads to the ball, as I've said before. That's what you want to see. Full-on effort, especially when you're under 2 minutes. Down only by 2.
That sets up roughly a 3rd and about 4.
Just one more stop.
10 seconds left on the play clock.
Cerritos taking their time. Might take a timeout just to save themselves.
Cerritos lining up, bunt formation to the right, hand off, and the Lancers will get a stop, and that'll bring up 4th down. Oh, penalty markers fly as a late hit will most likely be called.
Man, it's understandable, but he's falling, he's going. That is rough. Not many other ways to say it. That's a rough one.
Tackle by number 44, Michelangelo Loretto.
And that is a rough one to see.
Yep, and it was by Loretto, I believe, if I heard correctly. Giving the Cerritos a fresh set of downs, and on the other side of the PCC Lancer logo. Actually, ref's putting it right on the spear. I'm sure there's some type of artistic meaning in that. One that I'm a little too bummed to find right now after that very bad penalty.
So Lancers will take a timeout, 1:24 remaining.
Well, you know what sucks about that? Is that it's not when you want to take a timeout. This is probably the last time you want to take a timeout, but I guess you got to do what you got to do, right?
You got to regroup the troops, get them back on the same plane, same mind space.
Yeah. And I mean, I've seen people in worse situations come back before, so the Lancers are more than still in this game. They just can't let their heads hang low. You need to stay high, keep your heads high, keep your confidence high, keep your hopes up, and just keep playing the football that you know how to play. We have quite the flashlight out on the field down by the track. That was a very, took the spotlight from the football game for a quick second. But, you know, when teams are talking and stuff, there's not much going on, you know? We're here to talk about football. Where's the football? These boys are having conversations.
So let's see the Lancer defense come up strong. The 4 defensive captains, led by Osvaldo Ragosa, looking to keep a stop. Hand up to the left side by number 28. And he gets a few yards, but he does go out of bounds, so it does stop the clock.
Nice, there we go. And you make up the timeout, although they are at, what, 2nd and 3 now?
Yeah, so 2nd down at roughly the 32-yard line. Excuse me, the 36-yard line.
7 yards on the carry.
7-yard carry.
man, we got to see their averages for the game because they got to be up there. They got to be 6, 7+ yards a play. As the Lancer crowd gets loud by the coach's request, get this defense hyped up.
Looking for a big stop. Cerritos takes the handoff to the right side, and that is a tackle.
A big stop. They get 3rd down.
Close to the marker, and Lancers will take a timeout.
Pasadena, their second charge timeout.
Now this is the stop. This is the
number
stop.
27, Jalen McGee.
So it is now 3rd and 1 with 1:11 left on the game clock.
Yeah, our hash person hasn't been on top of the game too much, but that's okay because we are. Yep. They're catching up. That's fine.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is most likely it. You get a stop here. You set your offense. You got 1 timeout left in the game. I mean, what do you think? What would you say as a coach right now to your players?
To the defense?
Yeah.
Bro, get this stop. There's not much else to say. There is no tactic to get there. There is no technical this or that. Hey, go get that stop, bro. Let that dog out. Let that dog out. But like I said, there's no 40 times. There's no how does he look at a free cone. There's only does he have that dog or not.
Cerritos sets up in the big boy formation, a lot of bodies up front, and they take the handoff.
Oh, bounce
back. That'll be close.
What a first.
See where forward momentum gets them, and that will be a first down for the Falcons.
See, just like that, man. Who's going to be the big dog that's going to push that line back? Who's going to be the big dog that fills up that hole? I'm not going to say that we don't have the big dogs. Oh, as the Cerritos player falls to the floor, clutching his knee. Not a good sign, but he's standing up now, so we'll see. But, yeah, hey, who's going to make that stop? Who's going to step up and be that hero? There is no zone. There is no you go here, you go there. We've practiced for this moment. And sadly, it just didn't come up this time. And like you said, I think we're at the end of the game now.
Yeah, 52 seconds left. It's a 1st and 10. The Lancers, I believe, still have their last timeout. They haven't used it.
They do, yeah.
Because of the injury. There's an injury timeout on the field. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, 71's getting helped off, but he's still getting off. Hopes and prayers to 71. His knee seems like it might be the problem. Not what you want to see for football players or anybody really. Knee problems are not the way, to say the least. So prayers and all of that to him. Back to the game though. 52 seconds left. Cerritos ball. 1st and 10 at about the 45, just before the 30. Having a hard time seeing these lines, but yeah, just before the 30.
Roughly the 31, and
victory formation.
Falcons line up to kneel the ball. And unless the Lancers take their final timeout, the clock will continue to run. One more play will have to be run because the play clock is at 30 seconds and the game clock is at 38.
I mean, even if you call your timeout at this point, you're just being petty.
Timeout. Pasadena.
Well, and Pasadena calls their timeout.
Call their timeout.
So I stand by my word, if I'm being honest, because what are they going to do? Kneel it again and get another 40 seconds on the clock, right?
Yeah.
And it's, what, 30 seconds left in the game already? Doesn't make too much sense. The players, though, are just chilling on the field. I believe we all understand, like, hey, let's just get this over with. As Cerritos takes their final knee, presumably.
And Simpson takes the final knee of the game, number 5 for the Falcons, and the clock will run down, and this will end up being a 33-31 victory for the visiting team, Cerritos Falcons.
It was a rough one, if we're being honest, for the Lancers, but a lot of shine in the darkness as well. Sanford had himself a day, I would say. Our running backs had themselves a day. Glover had some great runs. Joaquin Elliott as well had some great runs and great plays. Arnaud I believe Arnaud is our quarterback, really. Very interested to see what he has to do for the rest of the season. But yeah, just really a rough way to go out, rough way to start the season, you know. All of us here, we're all Lancers, we're all fans, so we're all a little bit down, but we can't let our heads hang. We got to look forward to the rest of the season. And I think it looks good still, besides the start. I don't know how do you feel about this team?
This team looks good. You know, we had a lot of great spots seen throughout the game. It was just kind of unfortunate events that led up to our loss. And but hopefully, yeah, this season's going to look good. I think we got a good team here, and quarterback Samson's looking good, and the running backs are great, and we'll see what they do.
Yeah, you guys are seeing the highlights right now throughout the game. I believe so. From what I'm getting in my ears, you guys should be getting the highlights of the game, which aren't few. There was quite the amount of highlights in this game, even including a muffed field goal into a PI. I don't know about you, but that's quite the highlight for me. You don't see that often. That's really what you come to games for and watch football for, is moments like that.
That one capped off their whirlwind of a drive where they're going back and forth and finally set them up to score a touchdown.
Yeah, again, we heard before the game that third quarters are so-so. The third quarter was the best quarter of this game, really. Yeah. That was just so action-packed. That was the whole movie that happened.
We were treated to a good one.
We were.
33-31 is no blowout by any means.
No, it is not. Very close. That's a game.
2 points.
We witnessed a football game today. We witnessed real heart. I believe the record overall goes 9-3, correct? Cerritos and Pasadena?
Their overall record?
Yeah, between each other?
So yeah, between each other since 2004, Lancers were 1-6.
Oh, really?
Wins, yeah. Their last win was in 2012, where Cerritos won the game but had to forfeit it later on due to an ineligible player on the roster.
Oh, wow.
That was their last win, 2012.
What a story. Oh, okay. Well, then, we seem to be on track, because if this happened last season, did it?
This happened, the ineligible player in 2012.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, not the ineligible player, but the losing to Cerritos?
Losing to Cerritos, yeah. Last year we lost to them. That was one of our two losses.
But then what happened?
We ended up being 9-2.
Exactly.
Winning the SoCal Bowl. I mean,
that's fine. This isn't a loss, like I said earlier. This is just a lesson. Like we both said, there's so many bright spots on this team. There's so many great plays that you've seen, so much potential. And this is just a learning experience. We understand now, hey, we can't do this. Hey, we can't let them do that. For the most part, we can't let them run all over us. That's really what they did the whole game, was just run all over them. And trick them, too. That play-action pass, you got to give it to the Cerritos coaches, I would say, and their game planning, because that was the momentum setter. That was really what stamped the story, was that play-action pass by Cerritos. You know, Pasadena put up a great fight to try and come back from it, but plays matters. Plays like that, they create momentum. They bring morale, you know, as a team gathers around on the field.
I would say as a coach, you got to look at the positives. There are the negatives, of course. Every game is a learning experience. But as a coach, I would tell the players, look at the positives and look at what we did well. Look at all the highlights that we had and realize that this game was close to the very end. We had our chances and we had our opportunities. Just got to grow, and we got to fix those mistakes for next week.
I agree. We're gonna roll a package now. I believe before we do, are there any closing remarks that you would like to give the audience or to the team, maybe?
To the team, I mean, like I said, you just got to keep your heads up high and fix the mistakes for next week as they travel down to Santa Monica. And as the first game goes, it's not too bad.
Not at all,
right? Just got to keep your head up and realize there was a lot of good in this game.
I agree. Carry that good into the next game. Work on it, develop it, progress it, and then bring it back to the home game the week after when they face. Who do they face?
Santa Monica.
They face Santa Monica next week.
But
the week after when they're home.
Week after they're coming back, Santa Ana. Rematch of the SoCal Bowl from last year.
That's right, and that's when you truly need all this experience, right? That's when you truly need to look at the highlight plays, you know, and keep working on those and keep doing those, you know. But thank you all for watching. We appreciate you joining us for our first ever live stream. Obviously, it didn't finish the way we wanted it to, but nonetheless, I had a great time watching this great game.
That was a lot of fun.
It was.
A lot of fun watching the game, a lot of fun being here with you, my guy. And we're excited for the next one, the next home game, 2 weeks. And we'll see you all next time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, keep around on PCC TV. We're not just covering football. We have volleyball, we have soccer, and every other sport for, the rest of the semester and all that. So stick around. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Thank you.
Take care.